you know. I mean, seriously, guys, we're 1 week removed, and what the hell is happening in the industry? We are nonstop. Look at this. We got a new all-women's promotion in Japan by Rossy Ogawa. We are on the verge of a dynasty being defined in all elite wrestling. Pro Wrestling Noah and Marigold might go at freaking each other. WWE's trying to redefine what tag team champions look like, finally getting rid of a cherry strap, and I hope the blueberry strap goes.
In exchange for pizza.
Well, you know what? I'm a fan of Little Caesars. I'll give it credit. We got Rebellion. We got the draft. We got more professional wrestling than ever. So,
and an AEW champion, and an AEW wrestler, the American Ace is the world champion of Japan.
That too. Why do I keep talking about this madness? Because I am nothing more but a simple and a lifelong fan, forever grateful for what's being defined across the board as professional wrestling, damn it. And here we are once again, 1 week removed to once again talk about it. So let's go ahead and talk about all things wrestling. Here we go once more impromptu because I'm a madman. Hello, everybody.
Let's start this off on a more somber note. We here are against the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission for their treatment of Nyla Rose and what they did tonight.
All right. Well, I'm caught in the gray here, so I'm going to let Eric, of course, spearhead this thing. So, Eric, good to see you. Welcome.
So earlier today, there was a report coming out that apparently AEW was going to get in trouble because the state of Oklahoma was deciding to be bigoted a-holes for it. And sure enough, there was people doubting the legitimacy until they saw the agenda list on the government site and confirming that, yes, they did have a meeting about this whole AEW has a transgendered woman wrestling against an actual woman. And then there were two rumored penalties they were thinking of as punitive actions. One, AEW pays the state of Oklahoma money, or Nyla serves 30 days in jail. Because she's a trans woman. And then to end this moment and earn the ire of all of people against society, they decided to release a statement saying, nope, AEW will not be punished for the defiance of entertaining fans who are transgendered. Oh, by the way, we're going to start dead naming him and whatnot because we're bigots.
Noah?
So I'm just going to leave this up here. Remember, folks, everybody is a person. If we want to succeed as a society, we must learn to support one another and respect each other. Rise above toxicity, avoid mediocrity, don't stoop to immaturity, protect your mentality. Treasure your families, ingest your life, and enjoy wrestling.
King, being a guy who lives in the state or was having affiliation with that state, what is your reaction to the State of Athletic Commission's shameful actions on this day?
As I'm embarrassed to be an Oklahoman because of the fact that they do not understand that Oklahoma needs AEW and basically move on past this stupid crap and basically not even punish for this at all.
Oh, and Nyla Rose has been responding on Twitter about the whole thing.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Well, here's what I'm hoping they do. Okay, so remember, AEW was told by the commission group saying, look, you cannot have Nyla Rose perform in the ring. Okay, we won't do that. Can we let her have a promo, though?
They never did say about a promo.
And if you say no, then you're denying our First Amendment right, which you hold so dearly. So basically have Nyla Rose come out and cut a Magneto-esque promo calling out every bigot in the state of Oklahoma's government and more or less just say scorched earth their relationship with the state of Oklahoma until the regime changes. And then say trans rights are human rights and all that.
Which means I will have to go back to my Texas shows if that's to be the case.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm sure Texas will do it next because they're bad.
Look, I'll say, let me speak to you. Granted for people here to, of course, be who they wish to be here in the land of opportunity. And we are in the part of America, and I do believe that the South might be a little bit distant. But I do think we can all come together and accept each other for who we are. Now, anyway, now that that's out of the way, seriously.
I'm going to give you cause for panic, and you'll probably take off your glasses for this, Noah.
I don't think so. I'm a happy guy about professional wrestling. You know my mentality for strong as ATW crew.
I gotta hear this.
So there are rumblings of discontent afoot on the internet, as in, if certain deals happen within a year's time, his no-compete clause ends, Vince McMahon could theoretically start a new wrestling promotion in 2025.
What?
Yeah, because Vince McMahon left, he's been given a 1-year no-compete clause. So once it runs out, he could theoretically start a new promotion.
Who'd be foolish enough to go to that promotion?
You underestimate CYN's history, remember?
Yeah.
And don't forget, Vince McMahon's personal trainer came out in Vince's defense, and guess who liked that Instagram post?
People over there, what's up?
I don't follow the internet.
And our truth back to Vince, essentially.
People over there, what's up?
I still want to give our truth the benefit of the doubt that he lost his mind after little Jimmy fell out of existence, but that's
Jimmy.
I'm just saying. This is the same guy who said that Triple H wasn't in the ring. He couldn't see him.
He saw Tommaso Ciampa, apparently.
Also, there's been Vince McMahon has reportedly been in contact with his buddy number 45.
Buddy number 45.
Who do you think is 45? Okay.
Oh, I get it. It's WWE Hall of Famer Celebrity Wing, Donald Trump.
And local insurrectionist. But anyways, apparently he's been they've still been chatting with each other according to reports, and apparently they don't talk about their legal issues, and Trump has not been providing advice, thank God.
Trump giving advice? That's bad.
Oh no. Trump's been falling asleep in his jury duties.
Oh, I've seen the clips of him falling asleep.
Moving out from him, guess what? Guess who's still in contact with McMahon, even though it's probably for the best not to be in contact with him?
People power.
No, surprisingly, I think they're no longer friends because, John Laurinaitis has been basically spewing at the top of his lungs everything that's been going on.
Well, if it's not Laurinaitis, is it Kevin Dunn?
No, Kevin Dunn's trying to go to Hollywood and ruin that industry.
Kevin Dunn going to Hollywood?
Yeah.
There'll be a lot more camera cuts on that.
It's our international flavor of the year, John Cena, and TKO bore The Rock.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently Cena and The Rock are still in contact with Vince, even though that's probably the dumbest idea you can do right now.
Well, Cena did come on.
I mean, I'm not them.
Cena did come on months ago, said, I still love the guy, so that should give you a first red flag right off the bat.
Wayne shouldn't be in contact with him, given the TKO involvement in all this.
And it kind of makes you wonder, though, because if The Rock and Vince McMahon still keep talking, The Rock just all of a sudden into the board of directors, like, is he still being, like, said? Like, as in Vince McMahon telling what? All of this to do and say whatever?
I have no idea. But also, apparently there's been a weird report that Vince McMahon has been leaving the U.S. on several occasions from the Turks and Caicos Islands with 7 kittens and a puppy that he brought back to have adopted by friends. And he took a trip to Italy recently.
And he's sharing, but isn't he sharing most of his, like, no, is he still sharing most of his stock, though? So how is he still?
Oh, that's been an update on that, too.
And the update?
But all what remains of his stock on sale.
He's still
trying to. Vince McMahon is giving up all the stock he has in TKO, and it's like, well, time to get rid of all this stuff. I got nothing to do with it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Why people have been worried about the idea that he might try to start a new promotion because he can't understand the concept of retirement.
Because he will get taken out by the Grim Reaper himself if that is to be the case. And it's looking like that's going to be the case if he starts his wrestling promotion next year.
Yeah, and let's see what else has been going on that can be deemed questionable. Let's see, zero regrets regarding Tony Khan and what happened last week, so that's expected. Kevin Nash decided to bash Will Ospreay's shot at Triple H, who's shot at him, and Okada and Monet.
So, and I heard about that. Did he call him an indie-rific, something like that?
Yeah, and says, you should have went to WWE. You should have done the grind. And I was like, I see, Nash, Mr. 120 days more money from WCW guy.
But we can't talk, but I cannot have anybody talk bad about my best friend.
Even though he's portrayed him as a psycho control freak who apparently would freak out if he went backstage to watch his buddy Sting.
I know, and you've seen like how many people do this, and what's your excuse?
Here's the thing. He could have holded all this flack and controversy if he had just said, I don't want to risk jeopardizing my deal with WWE, but me and Sting will hang out afterwards. But no, he decided to portray Triple H as a control freak who will be so fragile that if he does that, he'll be considering it a betrayal. He decides to back Triple H up for hypocritical reasons, even though Triple H more or less called him as well, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
And let's see. And Drew McIntyre still not signed to a new deal.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And there's been an update on his contract.
And that update is, don't tell me he's on a 6-week layout.
6 weeks left.
Oh my God! WWE, what are y'all doing? Y'all supposed to be? Oh wait. Now that I think about it, if they haven't still re-signed with Drew McIntyre, and I heard from Meltzer saying the reason why that Undertaker took that spot from Austin at WrestleMania 40 was because they couldn't pay him. So what does that tell you? Is WWE broke or something?
No, I think it's just more like, hey, we have all this money, and like we could fire Big E because he's no longer valuable to us, but like we have the Netflix money coming, and we could pay for that, but like we're kind of just sitting in our hands for some reason with all this. I don't know why.
Like, we're not gonna pay Austin, but Taker can beat the money, but not Austin. Okay.
No. I don't think Taker actually got any money out of that. I think he just was like, hey, Taker, Austin said no. Do you want to do it for free? Sure. Okay, I'll do it. I'm kind of WWE's little boy, essentially.
Yeah.
But they could afford Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu.
Right. Which I heard that from Fightful that said that the crowd reaction to that segment went well.
Yeah, and
well, it was piped in. I mean, let's be honest here, guys. It was piped in heavily. That's the one thing I can say about the WTV product I still don't like. A blind monkey with bad nuts, while scratching them, could recognize when you're not hearing an authentic environment on your damn TV screen. Anyway.
But also good news. WWE has decided, okay, everyone, the edict of name changes are gone unless we feel like it. So Tama Tonga will still continue to be called Tama Tonga. Hooray. So that means Jacob Fatu will probably still be Jacob Fatu.
Well, we'll see when that happens. And I'm just going to put this out there. How the fuck are people going to buy into a guy that is 0-48 and is supposed to be the leader of the most influential faction in WWE?
Oh, there's actually a reason why they're probably going to still keep it seriously and never address the whole thing.
Go for it.
Because Roman Reigns is gone. We all know that, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's off doing Hollywood with Kiki Palmer right now.
Oh, he's not just doing it with her. Guess who he's also working with?
Who?
I don't want
Hey, everyone. This is Roman Reigns, Joe in Hawaii. I'm hanging out with Seth Rogen and Keanu Reeves for this film.
So it's Kiki Palmer, Keanu Reeves, and Seth Rogen and Roman Reigns?
And Keanu Reeves, yeah. In a movie called Good Fortune. It's a feature film.
That don't surprise me. It's Keanu Reeves. Anything but Keanu Reeves is a featured movie. He was the damn voice of Cyberpunk 2077's most influential AI.
Speaking of Cyberpunk stuff, you heard Idris Elba's in the game, right?
He's the DLC guy, I think. Or something.
Yeah. We're going to witness Cyberpunk in Sonic because Keanu Reeves is Shadow the Hedgehog.
I heard about that, and I don't know necessarily how that would work with me. Plus, I'm not a movie guy, so again, movies are.
I'm like, I just said like, are we sure we can't get Hayden Christensen? He's going a popularity rebirth.
And I think they go with the safe bet anymore at this point. Not this is entertainment
but
tonight.
Yeah, despite Roman Reigns' commitments with Hollywood now, and it's looking more and more like we'll probably never see him again afterwards because Hollywood will get their insurance in. Roman Reigns is said to still be in a substantial creative input position to help with the evolving storyline with the Bloodline.
Which don't surprise me because, again, he was the brainchild with Paul Heyman that literally made this thing the most relevant thing in WWE history, 3 years strong, no matter how we felt about the last year. And arguably, you could say that WrestleMania 40 was the culmination of Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, where everybody came together, and at the end of the day, you saw Cody Rhodes beat Thanos.
Yes, and everyone points out it took Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Jey Uso, The Undertaker to take out the Tribal Chief.
Takes an army to take down one man. I mean, I'm just saying. So, well, anyway, I mean, you know, overbooking. It's WWE, but it's overbooking that made sense because everything had context in reality. So I can't argue with it. I still go off what Aaron Brisk says. And why I finally try and shift gears back to normality with pro wrestling, I'm just going to ask y'all straight up. In your personal opinion, not maybe just as fans, but also just in your longevity of following the business, was that the best WrestleMania of all time?
I don't know about that. I didn't watch Night too much. I just had this kind of stats where it's like I'll watch it after the shows because it's like I didn't really know how to feel about the ending because I was like, oh, I want to see it, but again, I don't want to be disappointed like we did last time because there was still a possibility Roman could have retained.
Yeah. What do you think?
WrestleMania 40 all time? No. All time of this modern era when it comes to WrestleManias? Yes. In the Triple H era, I will say that because usually I will just watch for the matches that I want to, like I'm invested in, and I will watch, you know, whatever in the background and then watch WrestleMania. But Triple H had me invested on those 2 nights. Job well done.
There you go.
Also, there is one more thing I wanted to mention. Seth Rollins, his big moment at the end. Finally trying to atone for creating the monster that Roman Reigns had become, all because of a trauma, which when I looked at the date, I was like, holy crap, Earl.
That happened in the same city as Dynamite was at tonight.
But you want to know something else? It was 10 years ago.
That's right.
And Roman could still let it go.
Yeah.
And that's what really, and it cost him. That was the focal point. It was basically either smack Cody with the chair while the ref was down or get Seth.
Well, actually, there was no DQ, so it wouldn't matter.
Well, true, but
no, but that moment allowed Cody to get that moment allowed Cody to get back into the match. Think about it. We were talking about finishing the story. Roman finally closed the book on one story, while Cody finally finished the first chapter of his story. Anyway, continue.
Well, here's the thing. I was just like, why did you throw the chair away? You could have used both. You could have hit both.
Roman did,
but it was more so Seth than it was on Cody because last year
there was still an amount of time for him to hit Seth with it and then just turn around and smash the head of Cody Rhodes.
But it's like Roman got tired of beating on Cody, especially with last year's WrestleMania, for example. So he wanted to close the chapter in the book on basically, you know, Seth got me 10 years ago in Indiana, so I'm going to get him back on the grandest stage of them all. And that's exactly what he did. But it also costed him, well, to retain his title.
Yep.
And also, I went to take a. Is there any events coming up for WWE on June 2nd?
So it's funny that you mentioned that because being the guy that I am, I'm crazy and I call and look at all things wrestling. When AEW gave us this lovely little graphic right here about their upcoming events, as you see right here, I took it upon myself to look at WWE, including NXT, because we'll talk about the draft here in a moment, but I think it's safe to say they're finally defining NXT as a third brand. Here's the next day events for the WWE calendar, folks.
There's no event on June 2nd, so
you know, I find it disappointing because Sunday, June 2nd, will be the 10th anniversary of the day Seth Rollins destroyed the Shield, and it would have been a perfect show to do.
Well, to be fair, I don't know. I think the Madison Square Garden show is also later on in the summer.
Yeah, except it won't be televised, and it would have been the perfect time to have Roman come out and return and kill Seth probably.
Well, it's also one of those things we don't know when Tyler Black and Rebecca Quinn, aka Seth freaking Rollins, and Becky Lynch are going to return. And in my opinion, they well deserve long time off. And why people are speculating that they may not resign with WWE. Folks, calm down, tranquilo. You're not businessmen. You're not stockbrokers. You don't work for the damn company.
Oh, I do know what they are claiming to be, though.
Enjoy their family. Jesus Christ almighty.
I do know what they are claiming, though.
Oh, here we go.
They're claiming two things. They're claiming to be fitness instructors because they've been body shaming Sheamus, saying, "You're fat now." And I was like, we're looking at the same guy, right?
Too many limes.
I will say also the fact that we have that theme back. Get that Rebel the fucking out of WWE and make me care about WWE music again. Anyway,
please.
And the other part and they're also claiming to be mental health professionals. Oh, you see, remember? Okay, so did anyone watch the EU report thing that the AEW crew do? Hey, that I don't know that show where I keep trying to remember his name. The guy
is it? Oh, are you talking about RJ City? Hey,
AEW.
Yeah, Hey You and whatnot.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay decided to open up about, look, I had to get my legal team to read my contract because I have dyslexia.
That's fair. I mean, again, and that's a condition that.
And of course, when that came out, they were like, "Ha! So that's why you didn't sign with WWE. You read it backwards."
I don't.
And then they just went all ballistic over it. Like they kept saying, he read the contract backwards. He meant to sign with WWE. He meant to. Someone even claimed dyslexia isn't real, just like depression isn't real because, of course.
Let's see. Less dates, more time with his family. Plus get paid. You tell me which schedule works better.
And then for some reason they kept saying that's why he says bruv, because he can't spell it right. And I was like, okay, I'm not even. And then someone claimed he failed primary school because of it.
I don't pay attention to that type of stuff, Eric.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay. Like even Sean Ross Sapp got sick of hearing this and had to come out and say you are all disgusting.
Well, again,
this is the community that we in,
and this is the world we live in. But also, if you choose to live in it and chat with it and deal with it,
I actually has anyone a little bit off topic, but I'll get back to back to Will Ospreay. Has anyone watched X-Men 97 on Disney Plus?
I've heard it been talked about throughout the week, but haven't seen it.
Well, you see, Cyclops does this interview with somebody, and then he just snaps at them and tells them they're ungrateful for everything they've done for the humanity, the X-Men. And I just like, okay, I can reword that, and I can literally have Ospreay say that if I wanted to, because that would be my mental state if someone was telling me all this stuff, mocking me for my mental disabilities and other issues. And oh god, when that happened, I just was like, I wrote this big post where, let me find it again. God
bless your mentality, Eric. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yes, for real.
This is what I wrote. When I saw the WWE trial list making fun of Ospreay's dyslexia and site, that's why he didn't go to WWE. This is what I said to. This is what I would say if I was a wrestler and I was being insulted because I went ahead and had my own choice and free will. You're ungrateful. They fight, risk their lives for our entertainment, long-term damage, backstage politics, insane gimmick matches like death matches. They gave up the chance to have a good, comfortable life. They gave it up because they wanted to entertain. You can't bother to say you can't even bother to say thank you because of the logo on their back. But you expect them to stomach your trolling and hate to prove they're the bigger person. They suffer because the truth is they're nothing like you, and they should thank them for the resilience because they're one of the reasons we got through the lockdown era. Or else we would have been bored out of our minds.
Yeah, accurate. Yep. Accurate. No lies detected there. I mean, simply put, sound advice. Well, the bottom line of this, as we escape the world of the neoverse and
one more other thing. Guess who started fighting on Twitter? And this was funny when I heard it.
Vince Russo and Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
They were going ahead. Vince Russo was like, this new era of WWE, back to meaningless match after match. And then Disco Inferno came out and says, they've been selling out arenas left and right. And then Russo responded with, unfortunately, those who bought tickets prior to the show didn't know it was going to stink. They've been conned. And I was like, and then I just did my own skit in my head saying, I hate AEW. I hate AEW. I think that AEW is doing good business. Now, I think the product is stinking and fans have been conned. You mother. You pizza. I'll blow your. And then the WWE trialists and grudges have renewed their civil war because ever since Vince left the first time, things haven't been the same since. And then someone said, so when's the cage match between the two? And I just said, when Cornette and Bischoff join the fight.
I'm just going to sum up this with the guy behind me. I'm just going to sum up my thoughts with this guy behind me, and he will take us out here once for all. Yano? Please give us your thoughts on the internet that affects all mentalities that choose to be affected by it. Accurate.
Thank you.
Very well said, Yano.
Thank you, Yano.
All right. So that being said, folks, I always like to encourage people to protect your mentality, just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. And that concludes the Eric Reality Entertainment Show. Please follow him at the link tree down below. Thank you, Eric, for that 30 minutes of chaos as we get back into the promise that is
the Rose.
And respect everybody, folks. Everybody is a person. You do not dictate who they are. Their choices are their own. We have no right to judge. Only he does. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about, again, wrestling. That's why we came together in the first place. A balance of mentalities, structured, supported, sound family. And before we really begin into everything, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the ATW View Impromptu. This truly went out of nowhere and into the stratosphere farther than the Milky Way. God bless you, man. You're crazy, but we love you. Hope everybody enjoyed the conversation so far. As we get into all things wrestling now, truly, too. Please subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Follow my friends. Please follow this guy where he continues to challenge the mentality and merge both the Marvel universe and the professional wrestling landscape. And shout out to the entire W family, including not limited to our enforcer, Lex, SC, the indie darling, social media titan in her own right. We, of course, have Jose, we have Doc, we have Casey Man, Preacher Man, Casey Flynn, say it, Dakota Khan, we'll get her chance one day, I promise you, man. And, of course, our friend across the pond, Mary Jade, continues to prove that Jade is worth more than gold. Everybody, of course, our party friend, JD Ultra, everybody out there in the ATW crew, appreciate, love all of you. Hope that you all are doing well, too. Well, that being said, guys, we're 1 week removed from our last impromptu where we basically gave takeaways from WrestleMania and talked about the new era. And so far, in 1 week, a lot has gone down in wrestling focusedly. We talked a little bit and shed some light on it. We also, of course, have AEW, as is tradition here on the Impromptu, our latest AEW pay-per-view. The first time we are going to see the creation and the showcase of a Dynasty. As AEW Dynasty will be brought to us, of course, across all pay-per-view platforms. Thank fucking Christ. We could actually get this off something besides Bleacher Report after Revolution couldn't handle the best buy rate probably of a AEW pay-per-view in a long time. So we go ahead and we're going to talk about that. We're also going to shed a light a little bit about Rossy Ogawa's new promotion, Marigold, and what it could mean for Japanese, not only Joshi Pro, but women's professional wrestling and maybe NXT influence. We know we also have Rebellion. And again, we also know we have officially the WWE Draft, where it truly feels like NXT is a third brand. And as the professional wrestling scene continues to escalate in everything, including how much it's going to cost our wallets, we, of course, have our AEW 2024 preview schedule. TNA has already told us where their next 2 shows are going to be. I guarantee the next one's going to be Slammiversary. And as I showed earlier, here's what's next in WWE, where NXT might as well be a third brand. And there seems to be no rest when it comes to the top 3, I would say, most recognized names in the business, no matter how you want to cut or play it or downplay any of them. And of course, it doesn't include, but not limited to, Professional Wrestling Noah, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Stardom. We got NJ Resurgence, we got Capital Collision, we got GCW, Independence. More professional wrestling than ever. And all of it's known as professional wrestling, too. About God blessed time, damn it. Fuck those 2 words. So that being said, we've already killed 30 minutes of our brains. Let's just go ahead and lightly talk about a little bit about this schedule outlook. I mean, I think it's safe to say after all the slack we've been hearing about AEW's pay-per-view schedule, it's nice to know that after we get through these Sundays, the last 3 months, it will be Saturday. But looking at WWE's PLEs, it's kind of an opposite traction. Most of them are Saturdays except for the NXT shows, which seem to happen on Sundays. And, of course, TNA is always king because they only do Fridays and Saturdays. Now, I don't know about you all, but personally, I believe that Sunday should be a rest day. I don't believe you should have wrestling on that day. You should just relax. You should just prepare for the week ahead.
AEW on Max, please.
And yes, I do agree about that. And hopefully, again, get the fuck on there. But seriously, I just want to talk to y'all a little bit about, you look at these schedules, you look at all these shows that are ahead, the Sunday, the Friday, the Saturday. I mean, in your opinion right now, just looking at these schedules, what do you think is more comfortable to you? And not just from a wall standpoint, because right here you are looking at literally $400 in pay-per-views. But seriously, do you guys prefer like Fridays or Saturdays when it comes to your mainstream big stage extravaganza wrestling events? What's your take?
Well, my take is one of 2 things. One, I'm sorry for the people of Arthur Ashe Stadium not getting Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Hey.
Sorry, New York. Well, Arthur Ashe, that is.
Yeah, so thanks, New Japan. You didn't want to give us money.
Nope.
Well, again, I'm not the guy with the freaking book on the wallet. So
Well, New Japan Pro Wrestling is practically on the verge of breaking.
Like Tanahashi's kind of broken right now.
Yeah, I don't think the Ace is going to be able to save New Japan at this point with all the money basically being broken and somehow something Tony Khan controls the economic power of Japan.
Something control big wallet. But anyway, yeah. But that being said, yeah, these wrestling weekends though.
And 2, I'm just going to say once more, please, for God's sakes, David Zaslav, I will apologize if I have to for all the BS you've done so far. For now, if you put AEW Max right now, please. Put it
on the sports tier. Put it on the sports tier because, of course, you know you got NBA on TNT, and I like to prefer my wrestling and basketball in the same tier.
Oh, like Disney Plus is already starting up channels on their service.
Oh God!
I will not
own the world. Disney's gonna.
I will not own a Disney Plus just to channel surf. But I will say this: I will prefer my wrestling pay-per-views on Saturdays because Sundays I like to rest and just be lazy on a Sunday.
Same.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. I love professional wrestling as much as we all love professional wrestling in this episode. But my goodness, I'm tired of my pay-per-views on Sundays.
Right. Well, AEW, of course, they got us literally cop blocked this weekend. And WWE, if you follow the NXT brand, they got you on Tuesday.
Do you think any of the pay-per-views are conflicting with each other? I think I'm trying to remember.
So the only confliction, the only confliction, if I could say the words matters, folks, that I saw as far as dates coinciding to this point is Double or Nothing and Battleground. They both are basically on the same date. Everything else is separated as far as early at AEW. TNA, though, of course, you have, let's see, May 3rd, 14th. That's the only conflict. Double or Nothing and NXT Battleground at this point.
But also NXT Battleground.
Right.
What?
Oh, no, not again.
What?
Well, not the Sunday Night Battle. That was expected. Okay. But Noah's going to have to pull double duty.
Oh yeah, you are going to have full double duty because Battleground, because you know how NXT airs their pay-per-view early ahead of AEW. So you're going to have to call Battleground and you're going to have to call Double or Nothing on the same day.
I'll just flip a coin and just pick whatever show I want to call at this point, because at this point I'm just the guy that's just there to be the voice. The voice is not about what he wants to call. The voice is about entertaining and engage you on what he calls. And that's the unbiased, honorable nature of storytelling and commentary that I hold near and dear when it comes to professional wrestling. Good old JR. So, again, whatever.
Okay, now, here's a bigger question. Okay, now I'm trying to look and see when the day of let's see. Okay. What time does Double or Nothing start at
You know they usually start that madness. Freaking 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 0 hour 8 p.m. freaking Eastern Standard Time.
Look, I'm just trying to cover my bearings so I can get things right on this. Because I need
while he's covering his bearings of NXT Battleground, they might be moving venues. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but like I said, they're going to move it to
Ticketmaster, the WWE website.
But of course, it's rumored to be moved to UFC Fightplex. But go ahead, Eric.
I got good news and bad news, Noah.
Oh, fuck me. Go for
Good news. Double or Nothing starts at 6 p.m., May 26th.
Okay.
That's bad news.
Oh, no.
NXT Battleground starts at 8 p.m.
Oh!
Make you develop carpal tunnel syndrome just to call both shows, probably.
The day that the Definition Network Multiverse Media has me called 2 shows at once, today I lose my voice and turn in my resignation because that would kill me. You guys hear my voice already. You realize how many shows I've called in the last week alone?
You've called a whole crossboard of it.
Yeah, every freaking company practically, I think.
So if the May 26th Double or Nothing show is the 6 p.m. time is just for their kickoff and they start at 8, then we're screwed. Then you're really screwed.
And they have a 2-hour kickoff, then I know AEW is smoking something because that is ridiculous. I still say a kickoff should only be 1 hour long, and you should literally only have it dedicated to maybe half an hour of hyping up the biggest matches on your card, and then 1 or 2 matches basically this is what professional wrestling can bring you for this company. I'll freaking give NXT, what the fuck was it called? Stand and Deliver some credit because they actually did have 1 match on their kickoff. Unlike WrestleMania that had duly squat.
Yes.
And look, I understand hyping up something, but golly, 2 hours of talk and then 4.5 hours of content. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Anyway, what do I know, though? But, yeah, the bottom line, keep wrestling pay-per-views, PLEs, whatever the fuck 3-letter anagram you want to use. Can we find a way in the touring ecosystem, in the booking structure, in the freaking localization of whatever damn city or damn venue you're trying to cover? Can you find a way to keep everything to freaking Friday and Saturday only? Damn it! I'm just saying. Thank you, TNA. Damn company that makes some like a damn sense sometimes for me. It still does.
I'm like, they could do what they used to do.
What?
Tuesday pay-per-view.
Taboo Tuesday, anybody?
Or they could do what TNA used to do, where they had a pay-per-view show virtually every week.
Look, what TNA does right now, you get TNA
back in the olden days in the NWA.
I'll say back in my days. The TNA Tuesday, freaking get throwback. I just got done watching Rebellion 2022 yesterday. Great show. And then, of course, tomorrow night is TNA Thursday, where, of course, we have the main TNA show. And then, unless you're an insider or a part of TNA Plus, you then get a little bit of explosion with some, I think it's Friday action that's brought back on Tuesday at times. Because I just got done watching Kevin Knight. That dude's hype, man, and Flight. taking on Steve Macklin, very game match. So I think TNA has a nice structure. I still say fuck the owl, and I always say that for life, but that's a whole different conversation. Anyway.
Oh, by the way, is there been any update on Scott D'Amore?
No.
No.
Absolutely nothing. I'm just looking at here. Yep, all in Sunday too. Damn it! Ah! Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh wait. Oh no. Well, be glad Sunday on All In's in London because then we get to watch it earlier.
Right.
You know, I do think that does play into the strength of AEW and WWE. With your point, there is that one international show in AEW.
Well, actually, WWE has like several, and
back
in America till August.
I'll give WWE credit. They actually do allow us to engage in their PLEs earlier than expected. So that is nice to know. We do get that afternoon and evening to.
Also, I just had a realization. They're going to be in Germany at the end of August. Imagine if Vince was still running things and they decide to have Gunther main event, and then they go ahead and just drop the pretense.
Let's not end.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, are you trying to start international warfare, bro? Andy Crash.
King Crash.
Finally got him. Finally fucking got him. Yes. I love it. Every time there's a project, two things has to happen. King crashes and I sign off before somebody pisses me off. Oh my gosh. All right. So we got the one thing. That's good to know. All right. Well, bottom line, Fridays and Saturdays are the best. Sundays, we need to get the fuck off that shit. WWE and NXT and freaking AEW. I'm just saying. All right. So let's go ahead and switch gears now a little bit towards the WWE draft. And what sounds like might be more so etched in stone versus speculated. It sounds like either Dragunov might be losing his NXT championship after what we saw on that Monday night and the backstage reproof I've heard about him. And how can you not reprove about either Dragunov? He's one of the greatest intense wrestlers that WWE still has. Damn it. And of course, we know now based on this logo how much NXT crossbreeds, which is why I think they put the yellow in the sign here. As we know, the WWE draft will, of course, begin Friday, April 26th. And Monday, April 29th is where we'll continue. Doesn't say it will conclude. Keep that in mind, family. And you know, it'll be Ava Raine, Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis. We are the greatest wrestling minds you could have at this point. Ava Raine following the steps of literally her, what would it be? Grandma, who, of course, got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. No, not grandma, great-grandmother. Yeah, now I tell you, don't make sense. Sorry, ancestry confuses me. Anyway, the Hall of Fame cousin. Let's call it that. So...
we can't confirm though that CM Punk will be at both these nights.
Well, he's an active WWE superstar, but
yeah, but he's also an injured one. Oh, you want to know what I'm half expecting though?
What?
Punk is there, and he just like does this dumb thing where he's just sitting on the desk and then just puts his feet up and says, "Well, sorry, Drew. Looks like no one drafted you."
Damn.
And then Drew just freaks out and just goes all. So they keep the bum on Raw and they keep the Scottish Warrior, the chosen one, on the free agent list.
Well, it's one of those circumstances that I got nothing. I try to capitalize this and I can't.
Look, we're already waiting for Drew to make a reference to Jungle Boy.
Oh, God. That's fair.
Yeah, and in fact, you want to know what I'm thinking he should do?
What?
Drew McIntyre should be like, should just give Punk a gift. When's Punk's birthday?
Yeah.
And Punk opens it and it's like, great, okay, real funny, glass.
Oh, damn, Eric, you're one evil sadistic bastard. You're crazy, bro. But
well, WWE's in Birmingham, right?
It's supposed to be, I think.
Yeah,
Alabama.
They're doing a show there, I think, right now.
Something like that.
I think Drew McIntyre actually was saying something.
Well, Alabama's a whole different country, to be fair. That place has its own problems. I'm just saying. What do I know?
Let me see what he said. Drew McIntyre was being booed by his own people, and they were chanting CM Punk.
Not surprised.
And then he cut 2 promos. One he says, "Screw all you, I'm going back to America." But he also said this, and when the guy in the CM Punk chance, he says, even if he was healthy, which he is never, he'd never make the trip to the UK.
Oh no!
Yeah.
He went there.
Oh, he could actually. Here's the thing. This is actually the tamest promo he made yet. You want to know what he could have said?
Well, it's PG still, bro.
No, not in terms of cursing. You want to know what he could have said?
What?
Even if he lands here, who's going to pick him up?
Eric, you're giving them ideas. I don't know if they watch me. I hope they don't, but you're giving them ideas.
Look,
stop it. You're not getting
royalties. One idea I had, which was having Punk interact with people for future feuds. So I'm still demanding $1 million from them, and Swerve Our Glory still.
Oh, wait! Now I know why Punk didn't. Well, now I know why Stone Cold didn't come out to WrestleMania. Because Punk would have got triggered by Real Glass.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
wrong. You guys are wrong, bros. But all right, well, switching gears from not just CM Punk. I mean, you gotta consider everybody else. Oh, by the way, Rhea Ripley get well soon. Unfortunate circumstance with the injury.
And I feel sorry for Liv Morgan for the harassment she's getting
and the hate she's getting.
Well, fuck the internet. We already know my stance on that. So moving on, because we already talked about the internet verbatim. It sucks. It can have its glory, but also it's a seeming cesspool of worry and nonsense and idiots. So there you go. And I don't mean stupid idiots like Chris Jericho and the kindest variety. I could go rated R, but I'm not choosing to do that tonight. But yeah, WWE Draft, initial expectations. We kind of see now they're trying to create NXT as a third brand. We got Natalya, the Final Testament, and Ivar down there. We clearly can see that either Dragunov and Roxanne Perez have to be on WWE's hires radar. We know Braun Breaker's officially signed to SmackDown along with
Jay Cargill.
And Jay Cargill, she never was NXT. She
right.
NXT.
Yeah,
and then they got that bitch, and now we got the bitch in the Est that could become the tag team championship. So we'll see how that happens. It feels like to me that Raw needs to pick up things now on their brand. I would say SmackDown right now has the stronger brand, especially with Cody Rhodes being the WWE champion. So initial takes as far as what should happen in the draft, who you want to see go where, what are you expecting this time around with the draft might be the most serious been taken in probably a decade plus.
Well, here's my take. Cody, he's SmackDown bound, no doubt.
WWE champion.
Yeah, in fact, it's been reported that his promos over the last few weeks were him trying to say goodbye to Raw and saying, I'm moving to SmackDown.
And Jey Uso now is the babyface, the main event, the guy.
Oh, don't worry. Once they reunite the Usos, then you'll just forget who they are.
Here's the thing. Hi, Jeff. I think I'm going to remember more about Jay than I'm going to remember about Jimmy. Jimmy
That's tragic for him anyway. In fact, here's the thing.
And he got written off.
Here's the thing. They should just keep them separate. Like, just never reform them as a full-on tag team. They can ally each other from time to time. But right now, Jay is more or less the edge to Jimmy's Christian.
Accurate. And Christian Kidd has been gone, by the way, since losing the TNC championship. And so is his
Yes, he's currently having a moment of sadness because he lost his child.
Yep, he lost the TNT championship.
Oh, go to your real daughter and actually act like a man for once in your life, you fucking false father. Anyway, go ahead and continue.
Also, I did hear an old article about Scott D'Amore. Apparently, he almost did get fired back in 2004 or 5 for somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. The coach.
You want to know why he almost got fired?
Why?
Okay, so someone from wherever he was working on, I think it was Ring of Honor, they told him this. Okay, Scott D'Amore, I need you to do something. You're going to go out there and you're going to do a Canadian Destroyer on AJ Styles. And Scott D'Amore was like, no. One, the Canadian Destroyer needs to be protected. Give it 20 years. And two, it's AJ Styles. You want me, a non-wrestling big guy, to drop AJ Styles, who is one of your best workers. Yes. Yes, very much.
Yeah, again, foolishness behind the pen has existed in this business far before Tony Khan became the social media guru.
Just like foolishness in music, and Def Rebel continues to mess up the WWE themes. Hi, AJ Styles' new theme. How you doing?
I feel like people could use a rock band synthesizer on an iPad to build a better theme than Def Rebel has out of 5 out of 25 themes this past year alone. I digress.
Anyway. I've been trying to wonder about Def Rebel. I was like, why can't they just? Why are they so stubborn on bringing back Jim Johnson? He wants to come back and do something, or heck, he says I'd be awesome to do work with AEW.
Well, to be fair, Mikey Ruckus, though, he already has collaborated with the likes of Dave Oliver, and I think he would welcome that.
But could you imagine Mikey Ruckus and Jim Johnson collaborating on something?
Just for a track.
One song. Just give me one song from them.
Yeah, it'd be a whole different level of collaboration.
Tony Khan's already hiring former Spanish commentators. Do it.
Congrats to Carlos Cabrera. But anyway, so back to the original thing here. Then we go subtopic. Again, this is what we do, impromptu. And we can criticize music all we want, but at the end of the day, we're not Simon Cowell. We don't own licenses to anything. So again, what do we know? Ugh. We listen to the shit. Then again, it's so audio filtered in WWE, you barely hear the shit as it is.
Right, which that's always been my biggest problem, but yeah.
Well, again, does music actually add anything to professional wrestling under the WWE banner?
No.
Unless you're ordering DoorDash during Roman Reigns' entrance. What do I know? Or seeing downstream, which is still fun.
I still think, like, if you wanted to phase Jim Johnson out, couldn't you have just, like, had him teach a bunch of people and then leave on good terms?
No.
Who knows? I think music is more construed and confusing and restricted than even professional wrestling can be. So there you go. Speaking of wrestling, again, does anyone else have anything regarding the WWE draft as far as who they hope to wear, any initial outtakes, what brand needs to be looked at, come out as the strongest maybe in the end?
Raw women's division. It needs to be looked at because Rhea Ripley is no longer champion, which a new champion is supposed to be crowned on Monday. Am I correct?
As such, we must prepare for panic mode, probably.
In this case, Becky Lynch, you haven't re-signed your contract yet. You might want to come back and be a 2022 John Moxley. Who else do you got? Seriously.
Well, let's see. If it's true that Becky Lynch is going to take time off, she says it's not, but who knows?
Trying to figure out who else in the roster is not going to do an IKEA tag.
I don't think they can use Becky Lynch for now because here's the thing. Here's the thing I heard about before the WrestleMania match. It almost looked like it was going to be a disaster between Becky and Rhea.
Well, Becky was sick.
Becky was sick.
Rhea?
And then Rhea, well, what was it? 102 fever?
She had a panic attack prior, and Jason.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, they went out there despite these two issues
and had a hell of a match.
Yeah, one heck of a match.
So yeah, you're right. I totally didn't even think about that. But again, the whole thing right now, as far as a single storyline go, the only one they said at this point is Liv Morgan. What else?
Unless this is where he usually does it, but I figured I might use this a chaos thing for one night only.
Hooray!
What about Nia Jax?
Oh God! I'll stop watching Raw. No.
I mean, other than who's former champion besides Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, and Nia Jax, who else do you have?
Fuck my life. Fuck.
Let me see who the current talent is. Let me see.
Let's see. It's not going to be Ken Carter, Chance. It's not going to be Akinara, Maxine Dupree. It's not going to be Indy Hartwell or Candice LeRae. It's not going to be Shayna Baszler because they don't know how to fucking use her unless she's in MMA. It's not going to be Zoe Stark. It's not going to be Chelsea Green, though she should be. It's not going to be Piper Niven. It's not going to be Valhalla. It's not going to be
Maxine Dupree. It's not going to be her.
It's not going to be Nikki Cross. Not going to be Alexa Bliss, despite the teases of the potential reincarnated Uncle Howdy firm. I got nothing.
Exactly.
I got an idea.
Uh-oh.
My idea is actually quite simple. Just move Damage Control to Raw.
I mean, with the draft, yeah.
Well, they're trying a champion next week. They don't really have much of a choice.
So yeah, it's either down to Liv, Becky, or Nia.
I'll take Liv for 100, Alex. So, I mean, at this point, it's the only one that's been put into a story with her, and it makes contextual sense. If she's only going to be out for 3 months, you run it back where Rhea is going to get the ultimate babyface pop, and Liv Morgan can say, fuck the internet, roll with this heat, and be the face of Raw, live in the moment, watch me.
But what would that do with the Judgment Day, though, since you brought that up, where Rhea would get a big babyface pop and Liv feeding into this heat? What's that going to do with the Judgment Day if they're still the team?
At this point, I don't know what Judgment Day is going to do. In my opinion, Damian Priest is above the Judgment Day. He could literally roll on his own, and it sounds like he got new music, including his own take on it, so I'm not going to piss on it. So if Damian Priest now is the World Heavyweight Champion, and you got Dominic Mysterio that can't get a win for his life, nor a tag title, and you got Finn Balor and JD McDonough who have not yet tried to go after tag go together, and they could finally maybe do that against the Awesome Truth and their new tag team championships. As far as I'm concerned, Judgment Day have ran their course long friggin' enough. I say let everybody do their own thing. Besides, Rhea was the only effective member of that group, the most dominant, that was consistent and constant. Rhea could be stand on his own as babyface or as a freaking heel. And as Goff, you're tweener no matter what, so who the fuck cares?
And also, Raquel Rodriguez is still gone for a little bit due to her condition.
And that's why I didn't say her name, because I think she would be a prime candidate. But again, get well soon. Take care of yourself.
Okay, we could... oh, I got it. How about Zoe Stark versus Trish Stratus? There's still unfinished business on that.
I don't even know if they're ever going to do that again at this point. Or you know, actually pick that up. At this point, I'll take Trish Stratus as the freaking champion.
Don't worry, it's WWE. Even though it's a new regime, there's still same old BS.
Well, at least Trish Stratus actually will show up more often than work than other people. I didn't say no names.
Oh, I got an idea.
What?
Zelina Vega scams her way to the Raw Women's title.
Okay, let's not.
Ouch.
Let's not.
Okay,
dang.
I just had to make that joke.
All right.
Dang.
Damn, dude, that's a hard blow right there.
Oh, come on. Look at all the proposals I've done for Drew McIntyre's promo.
That's fair. I'm surprised you didn't say Charlotte Flair with her husband on freaking Raw.
Oh, no. Charlotte's still injured.
Oh.
With the rate she going, she might be quicker like Super Cena.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Well, I mean, you know, weirder things have happened. So, yeah, Raw needs to get the women's division together. SmackDown, let's see here. Get more challenges for the United States Championship, and let's finally make it less about capitalism.
Unless you want to do LA Knight and Logan Paul, that was rumored to be at WrestleMania.
Instead, you got LA Knight versus AJ Styles, and he beat AJ clean as a whistle. Now we're going to run it back. AJ gets his win back. AJ versus Cody Rhodes at Backlash. Cody wins. AJ.
And you know the sad thing is, they never did Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles round 4.
No, they never did. They was like, don't fit in our plans.
We've been 3 rounds, and that's enough.
And instead, it's like solo squash him, and let's run this shot 500 times over. But let's put LA Knight forward, which, again, LA Knight, favorable guy. So, plus AJ only was extending his contract, and the dude's been in the business for over 20 plus years. Let's let the dude actually enjoy his family, because that's the whole point of what he's trying to do here. Go out on the last match.
I got an idea.
What?
Jimmy Uso wins the U.S. title, and we build to a live match between Jimmy and Jay.
At least that'll be more favorable than the WrestleMania 40 match, which I did not find to be appealing at all.
I heard about that. Someone even said, "What are you guys doing? Why is this a Young Bucks match?"
It was basic. Hey, as a Young Bucks fan, he's not wrong. I mean, it was basically Super Kick Party, 15 of them, and then a few wrestling moves, and that was it.
Remember when the Usos did that last year with Sammy, and everyone just kept getting confused?
Yeah.
I was like, it's looking like they're trying to mimic the Young Bucks, but they never really got why he worked with the Young Bucks and why he doesn't work.
They never got out of first gear, I felt like.
Yeah.
They were just stuck in the first gear and just rolled with it.
You think the pressure got to them or something? Like, yeah, what was going on here?
Yeah.
I think the pressure got to them because they're so used to being a tag team wrestling on the bright lights at WrestleMania in a tag team championship or in a tag team match non-title. But as singles competitors facing each other that they just stuck in first gear. They never did get out of it.
It feels like to me the things that are going strong is in WWE with the facelift that SmackDown has and new champions Cody Rhodes and Bayley, absolutely well deserved. I finally might care about the WWE Women's Championship again. Thank you, Bayley. Sorry, Yo Sky, your run was at best. And then Raw right now, you got Damian Priest as the face of Raw and absolutely deserves the moment. You got to forget the women's division, though. That's the one thing. Start bringing up these IKEA tag teams, seriously. And then NXT, I don't know who you put in that spot. Either Dragunov, can Trick hold up in that? Well, we'll see. And then as far as the women's champion, I mean, Roxanne Perez is the best individual you got down there for the women's division. You lose her, kind of need a really good reset. So I don't think it's wise for Roxanne to drop the title and be drafted up yet. I'm just saying.
Well, to be fair, they virtually have lost their top talent. Like Tiffany Stratton got drafted.
And lost Naomi in less than 4 minutes.
NXT Nikita is torn ACL. Cora J got another knee injury.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cora yep. Nikita did it again, and Cora did it again. Both of them got re-injured. Yep, I forgot about that.
I didn't know about Nikita, though. I knew about
Wendy Chu is said to be also injured, but unknown yet.
She's been gone for a long damn fucking time. And speaking of Cora Jade, I'm going to say it once, I'll say it again. The only reason Roxanne right now is champion again as a heel is because Cora Jade couldn't do it because she's injured. Guarantee you right now, Cora Jade would be the NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, except there was a problem with her.
What?
Huh?
Problem is that what WWE reportedly had the expectation of.
Wait. I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Is it the expectation they were trying to meet their Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks level?
Oh,
yeah,
Lord,
yeah. For some reason, Cora Jade was being seen by backstage as we can make her the next Sasha Banks. Sasha was in Star Wars. How do you get that going?
Why
you didn't acknowledge her Star Wars run?
Why do we keep trying to refer back to the past without trying to define a brighter future?
Well, here's the thing. Someone even said, I agree. I am a WWE tribalist, and I agree that Cora Jade is the next Sasha Banks, just like Tiffany Stratton is the next Charlotte Flair.
Tribalists got smaller brains than lima beans. They don't mean jack shit in their opinions.
But that Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, that has the potential. That really does.
There's one other person they could probably go, but they can't right now.
And that would be
the forgotten final boss of women's wrestling in WWE.
We talk about Michael Santana all the time at this point. I'm just saying.
And now she got WWE permission to work a Japanese show, I think May 9th.
June 12th, Fortune Dream.
June 12th, sorry. Fortune Dream. She got WWE permission.
Well, the bottom line, as far as the draft goes, Raw, make your women's division matter again.
Please.
SmackDown, make the United States title matter again. NXT,
get it off of Logan Paul.
NXT.
Also, aren't they making a women's secondary title, which they should have done in the first place?
NXT, yes.
Yes, they are. The North American Championship.
Women's North American Championship.
Yeah, so who should win that, you think?
Well, considering we know one person is going to be NXT bound here sooner rather than later, let's switch gears with this fact. NXT, keep making your women's division great. You're definitely getting up there to the point that I almost will put you up there with TNA, but TNA is still the leader. Don't at me. But let's go ahead and switch gears since you talk about that, because good segue. Last thing before we get into our main event. As we know, Julia is NXT bound to be Sorry Stand Liver, but there is a new promotion now on the scene in Joshi Pro. It will be part of Wrestling Universe with English commentary, and it's led by, you see the guy in the yellow suit? Say hello once again to Rossy Ogawa. Say hello to Marigold and its initial roster. It includes, but not limited to, former Stardom talent, another promotion I can't see the name of that had a bunch of disagreements, it sounds like, with some of their talent. It almost looks like it was on their last legs. But there you see in the top row, you see Mai Sakurai, you see Mirai, you see Nane, you see I'm sorry, I forgot your last name. You see Yazuki, and of course you see Queen of Rhodes and Utami Hayashita, and of course her beautiful Insanity right next to Ogawa on the other side, Julia. Of course, Marigold's already made their presence known in Pro Wrestling Noah, and they will be holding out their first show in Goldfields, I think, Marigold Fields Forever, May 20th. It'll be headlined by a tag team match where Julia and X will be taking on X. And you recognize that young lady named Saray? That's the same Saray that used to be in NXT. And apparently, Yeah, about to say, did people forget about that? Yeah.
You mean the one that they were trying to turn into a cliche anime superpower girl?
Yep.
Don't remind me of that.
As a kid, because that's not creepy.
Well,
that's the high school Sailor Moon aesthetics.
We're not going to besmirch the good name of the room here because WWE likes to fuck shit up, but I digress. Anyway, this might be though WWE's way of getting in. I mean, we've already seen Charlie Dempsey involved in All Japan Pro Wrestling against the likes of Kazuhiko Nakajima. By the way, no longer the Triple Crown champion. He lost that. But he has said that he's open to working with the likes of maybe former Daughters of Stardom in Io Shirai. I'm calling her by her real name, damn it. And of course, Kairi Sane. Imagine though if one of the exes here is a former WWE superstar, and this is Triple H's way of trying to get into the Japanese market, and you might get a Worlds Collide of Japanese promotions. And you were just talking about the NXT North American Women's Championship. Julia right now is the first ballot candidate, and according to what I've been shared by y'all, she is bound not only to NXT but have her first match at Heatwave, which of course is that Money in the Bank weekend in Toronto. And it sounds like she's going to be contending for one of the two NXT women's titles. Now, with the likes of Blair Davenport, also no stranger to Stardom, former Bea Priestley, of course, the top Ganjin, I would not rule her out being involved in this after she gets done with her feud with Soruka in beach, whatever the fuck match. I'm sure there'll be a beach ball.
I got an idea. I know it's not going to happen because certain issues happen, but what if it was Mercedes Moné?
That'd be extremely unique, but I think we know where they might be going there. Forbidden Door is always open, but I just want to get y'all's thoughts in general. We know Rossy Ogawa.
I do have one last thing.
Go for it.
Did you all forget that New Japan, Noah, DDT, Stardom, Dragon Gate, and BJW are all holding a joint event together?
Yes, all together.
Yes.
And Konosuke Takeshita will be there. Yeah, and Konosuke Takeshita, of course, will be there representing DDT Pro and AEW as part of a six-man tag. But I don't think Marigold and Stardom coexist under the same umbrella. It's almost like
they're usually having a schism.
It's almost like Noah versus NJPW. Okay, you got the Arc and you got the Emerald Green versus the Cerulean Blue and the Lion Mark. We have Stardom, and now we have Marigold with a guy that's been involved in his business for 50 plus years. It sounds like when he was nothing but a photographer. Hello, Paul Heyman. So I gotta ask you all, what do you think Marigold's influence could be potentially on the Western scene?
I'm happy, but I'm concerned. I'm happy because we finally get another promotion added to the thriving wrestling industry that's growing, that's on a white hot momentum. Like The Rock said, pro wrestling is cool again.
Right.
Second of all, is the WWE possibly influence? Now, remember back years ago when Triple H was going to start a globalization of NXT TakeOver. We was going to get NXT UK, NXT Japan, and so forth, right?
Yeah. And he tried to buy Noah.
Exactly. So why in my gut deep down that this is going to Marigold is going to be like, it's secretly like NXT Japan.
A secret military foothold in the country of Japan.
Exactly. It's like I'm happy, but I'm concerned.
There is another concern, though.
What's on your mind, Eric?
With another Japanese promotion coming in to carve their place in Japan, here's a question: Will the Japanese wrestling scene be able to sustain itself overall? Because the money's currently blowing up.
Well, I mean, again, you look at Joshi Pro Promotions. I mean, we got former individuals here from Ice Room. We're thinking about Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, also part of the Wrestling Universe platform. Now Marigold joining it. We talk about Sendai Girls. You think about Prominence. You think about Stardom. To try and look at the entire economy of the Joshi Pro Wrestling scene, we'd be here for another 3 hours, and I'm not here to do that. And as far as I know, I mean, we currently haven't heard any dark notes regarding Stardom or New Japan Pro Wrestling that, again, are still in working relationships as far as we know with TNA, AEW, and other partners as well.
Two big announcements.
What?
Samoa Joe's coming as a Fight Forever DLC character on May 8th. And we also have sad news for Ruby Soho fans, but also good news.
What?
Ruby Soho is going to be gone for a while.
Oh, why?
Oh, don't worry. I think it's like 9 months to a year. She's pregnant.
Oh, wow! Congratulations.
Her and Cool Angelo.
A Rampage.
Now that explains why she wasn't on Rampage in that match with Zack Knight and Cool Hand End. Even if he lost the match, he's got a whole... That's beautiful. Congratulations to Ruby Soho. I wish her the absolute best. I will never, ever besmirch the idea of somebody wanting to start a family. That's genuinely something beautiful.
Congratulations to Cool Hand End and Ruby Soho. Congratulations.
Yeah, I wish them all the absolute best, and may it proceed proper and well, because things unfortunately do happen for some people. Before you're okay. Seriously.
Yep.
So, yeah, it just feels like to me, with the fact we had Charlie Dempsey one time in All Japan Pro Wrestling, we've seen Charlie Dempsey now in GCW Bloodsport. Take it like there was nothing. Dadgum. It really does. And Julia, who is NXT bound, helping Rossy Ogawa with this promotion kickoff. This is the promotion's first event, and this is the main event. It does feel like to me that NXT could be involved here, actually. Especially if Julia is the NXT Women's North American Champion. This really could be one of those crossover things that could happen.
Potentially.
It could be.
I'm just curious, though, where Utami Hayashita stands in all this, because, again, we saw her, of course, and some of these people are like, it's a whole new landscape, new horizon, new challenges, new roster. I mean, again, we're talking about former World of Stardom, Wonder of Stardom champions here, of course, former 5-star Grand Prix winners, and they've already collided with the Great Sakuya, and of course the Pro Wrestling Noah Women's Division, if y'all watch Monday Magic like I have. So I do understand your stutter step there, King, but I look at it more so as opportunity for the industry. I just hope it just means bigger things across the board for, again, not only Joshi Pro, but women's professional wrestling. And truthfully told, I don't know everything because, one, I don't speak Japanese and I don't have Rosetta Stone or the time to learn a whole nother language. But I do understand Rossy Ogawa's influence, at least on that side of the business, being a fan of Stardom as long as I have, why the golden generation is being led by Maika, Tem Nakano, Saya Kamatani, Asume, and Mina Shirakawa, among others. And apparently there was a fallout with some factions recently where I think somebody...
King crashed.
But that's two for you, bruv. It just feels like to me that, again, there's just changing landscapes that I think we should all have an open mind and only look more for something better versus what could be internal company-wide conflict in transactions. And again, we don't control that, but I do hope this does mean something more for, in general, women's professional wrestling. And if I can get Stardom versus Marigold, let's fucking go. That's a whole different aspect of Julia versus friggin' insert name here. I am all for. Even though she did just say, Arrivederci. Thank you for everything you did to Stardom. All right. Well,
before we talk about the big event thing,
yeah,
Jon Moxley is the IWGP World Champion.
Well, I was going to actually, talk about a little bit of what I like to always do here, ATW highlight, as we talked about. Solo Sikoa is the leader of the Bloodline now. Tama Tonga made his debut in WWE. I'm sure Jacob Fatu is not too far behind. First time I've seen Paul Heyman scared for his life, a whole different side of him. As again, we're in a new era. Outside of that, as we look at NJPW since also last week, Friday, to your point, there's a new NJPW World Television Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., WWE Strong Tag Team Champions, and TMDK. First titles they've held since Pro Wrestling Noah, I think, before going to WWE and almost winning the NXT Tag Team Championships as TM61. Yeah, folks, that's the same team. And, of course, Hiromu Takahashi took on Mustafa Ali, and Ali we trust as he beat him. Jack Perry came out and almost got literally torn apart. It was for his Riot Squad, for his defense. We had an 8-man Riot, and of course we know that that's going to lead to Resurgence. Alex Windsor has made her presence known in NJPW strong, challenging Stephanie Valkyrie, was able to defend her championship successfully against Asume. And to your point, we also, of course, saw only Nick Nemeth survive Stone People Wrestling, but John Moxley, who has been GCW, CCW, WWE, AEW, now IWGP World Heavyweight Champion after beating Tetsuya Naito, a journey 9 years in the making. What the hell is the wrestling industry right now? Quite a show, by the way, too, Windy City Riot, the biggest show in NJPW Strong history and their biggest turnout. And I thought it was a very fair card. And I enjoyed everything that I saw.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. When John Moxley won the title, someone 4 days prior said this. For the first time since January 2020, the Shield held no titles. And Mox took that personally.
5 days later, here we are.
Yeah, about to say, shut the fuck up. That's pretty much John Moxley's MO. Think I can't do it.
But I do have one negative, and it's just that why are we putting the title back on Zack Sabre Jr. if it didn't work with Matt Riddle in the first place? Like, Zack Sabre Jr. is above that, in my opinion. He should be going after the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship by now.
Well, I mean,
he should have been doing a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't think. Wait, in fact, when was the last time he challenged for the world belt? I think I might know. I just wanted to be sure.
I think it was prior to Naito winning it because he didn't challenge Sonata for. Yeah, he challenged Okada for it. I think.
Yeah, when the old belt was around.
Yeah, at Hyper Attack.
Yeah, after he won the big tournament.
Yeah, because he was trying to win the New Japan Cup, and he came up short thanks to the group we don't talk about. And, of course, John Moxley said that he wants all the young boys, everyone to step up, and someone stepped up from a young boy to a dead man while he's looking to give his top protege, his student, his final test, the toughest test of his career. And it made official at Resurgence. It will be Death Rider John Moxley taking on Roughneck Shota Umino. Let's be honest here. He's not losing the belt beforehand. At Resurgence in the Toyota Center. So all I got to say is Shota Umino, good luck. Stand out and shut out. You took
But he also has another opponent at Wrestling Dotaku.
Yes, Ren Narita. And I will not dismiss Ren Narita for his ability, but I will dismiss him because of who he is with in the worst thing in the industry. And I will leave it at that. But that being said, Shota Umino, he took Will Ospreay to the limit. His longest match last year, 40 minutes for the IWGP United States Championship. Can he hang with John Moxley even further, even stronger, even longer? Can he beat the boogeyman of New Japan Pro Wrestling? That's our biggest question right now when it comes to IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Also, I do have a question. Did anyone see Mustafa Ali's promo?
Oh, you mean where he said that, can somebody doubt me, make me doubt myself? Please, I'm begging you. He wants to be pushed a whole different way versus Nick Nemeth, who's trying to show the world and himself exactly that he still could do this.
Yeah, I think Ali was trying to basically say, hey, you think I'm too nice? You think I'm way too nice? Because a certain someone kept thinking, you don't have any edge. You're too nice.
Yeah, he's going to shut you all up right there while he's holding 2 championships. And Ali, we trust, of course. And again, it's one of those things where I look at, when you see Riot as a whole, it was a very fun card. And I enjoyed the show. And I'm very happy to see Zack Sabre Jr. back with the title that defines his wrestling style. Again, Sabre is in 15 minutes. And he can't go right now for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Then again, he never got that match with John Moxley when he dropped him back at New Beginning when he held the IWGP United States Championship because the world went into shutdown. But Jeff Cobb has also made his segment known. He wants that gold. And this will be the 3rd time now that Jeff Cobb and Zack Sabre Jr. have gone one-on-one concerning this title. First time draw, Zach Cobb, though, 10+ minutes in at Dontaku. So does Jeff Cobb get it done this time? And maybe this is how you catapult Zack Sabre Jr. maybe towards challenging for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, knowing that the G1 Climax is on the horizon. But that being said, keeping that in context, King, what was your thoughts on Windy City Riot?
Very fun card, especially the Riot Rules match, and it proved to me why Gabe Kidd should be the real leader of Bullet Club and not David Finlay, because he led that Riot Rules match. Him and Eddie Kingston, of course, I expected Homicide to be there. which that was like basically I knew that was coming, but it was surprised to see the 5150 himself. But what caught me was after the match where they announced another match, and I was like, how much violent can y'all get? And y'all proved me right when y'all announced for Resurgence for the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship to be a no ropes last man standing match. And I'm like, yeah, y'all going to get more violent in the Toyota Arena in Ontario, California than anybody has ever done before.
Yeah, I know California has earthquakes. These two and their bad blood and the destruction that awaits them to do bodily harm to each other might register on the Richter scale. But also, is this where the Kingston finally loses his last crown? He's only have this title left.
Yep, I think Gabe Kidd takes it off of him because that'll be the last gold that Eddie Kingston drops because he's lost the Continental Championship to Okada.
Yep.
He lost his Ring of Honor World Championship at Supercard of Honor to Mark Briscoe.
Yep.
And this is where it ends. With Eddie Kingston all to go, Gabe Kidd takes the last thing off of Eddie Kingston's shoulder.
I just feel like it's kind of like fitting based on their history, considering he faced Gabriel Kidd in a previous life, and Gabe Kidd is one of his
You want to know what they should do? You want to know what they should do to start building up a coup d'etat storyline in Bullet Club War Dogs?
What?
After Gabe Kidd defeats Eddie Kingston, hypothetically speaking, and he cuts his promo talking about his victory, and he says, I'm going to make sure that I keep this title after my first defense.
Damn. Of course, Kent has never lost the bad blood.
And then he just goes ahead and Gabe Kidd about to hand the mic back to his leader, and he just does the Adam Cole thing and drops it.
Nah. Of course, Adam Cole right now still also not clear to compete, and the Devil still rules his Undisputed Kingdom.
Oh, there has been an update on MJF.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, apparently he during last week, a week or so, he actually went to meet with AEW officials. Still not ready to return yet due to multiple injuries, but they seem to there's many under the impression he's still locked to a deal.
Well, I can just tell that subtle smile with Samoa Joe and Swerve during the contract signing those chants right now. They know what's up. Continue.
And with the whole Adam Cole thing, I know Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful has reported that he is nowhere close to being ready. And he's going to be off of TV for quite some time.
And he should be, because the man did some really reckless nature to his body. I think he pushed himself.
Stupid ramp that shattered that ankle.
Yeah. Oy, baby.
Cost you controversial, but somehow inconvenience.
It's the business, bruv. Speaking of the business, before we get into our main event, of course, I want to talk about why we are AEW eccentrically focused. We always show our love. We show our aspect. We show our outtakes. We show our little simple thoughts in all things wrestling. As again, folks, again, buckle up for everything that's ahead for you this year from the big three that are TNA. We know we got Rebellion, Siege, and Against All Odds. AEW has given us the entire rest of the year outside Ring of Honor for Dishonor and Final Battle because again,
AEW Max, for God's sake.
Yeah, we're gonna keep chanting that as long as the cows are proverbially not come home yet. Dynasty, Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door, all in London, all out. By the way, all in and all out are back-to-back weekends.
Again. Oh, great. Yay.
Wrestle Dream, Full Gear, and World's End, of course, will culminate. Of course, that'll be the conclusion of the second ever Continental Classic, and then WWE PLEs. They're, of course, lining up the schedule, making NXT a third brand. We got Backlash, King of Queen of the Ring. Oh, yeah, King of Queen of the Ring's back. Didn't even thought about that. NXT Battleground, Clash of the Castle, Money in the Bank, NXT Heatwave, SummerSlam, and Bash at the Berlin. As the rest continues to unfold this weekend, of course, we have TNA Rebellion, and people can, of course, watch that on TNA Plus, Triller TV, or pay-per-view if you choose. And our matches, it's quite a stacked card here. We have several championship matches on the line. We got the Knockouts Tag Team Championships in a rebout here. Spitfire versus Decay, Tag Team Champions on the line as Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers defending against Speedball Mountain. Full Metal Mayhem with two OGs, Self-Proclaimed King of TNA, Frank Azarian taking on the world-class Maniac Eric Young. Joe Henry takes on Rich Swann. I said the wrong name, almost the wrong person.
No, you meant to say it.
No, I did. He's not facing him. Anyway, Joe Hendry takes on Rich Swann. We got Josh Alexander taking on Hammerstone. Last man standing, and I think he wants his headset back more than anything, just proverbially guessing. And I'll even trust as he looks to show the X Division should have limits. What the fuck, you crooked prostitution? Mustafa Ali defends the X Division Championship against something, literally, Dick something. The TNA Knockouts World Championship on the line. Oh, by the way, Matt Cardona, get well soon. That's Matt Cardona alongside Steph DeLander in opposite contrast. Steph DeLander goes after the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace, in the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Still the most prestigious women's world championship across the entire business. Even though, Athena, you are fucking phenomenal as we have our women's world champion.
Also, we all know. Okay. Also, and I was like, oh yeah, Gay Kid and Eddie Kingston are gonna have a no rope last man standing match.
Yeah, I'm about to say no rope. Why they went that far is what I want to win under.
Well, let's see. Look, no, you have to pick your struggle. Either no rope last man standing match, or we lace to a C4 like Mick Foley.
Nope.
You
bang
can't
bang.
You're not doing exploding barbed wire on the Western Front. We have
no, not exploding barbed wire. I said C4 because they used to do that back in the
bang bang
in the 80s.
Yeah. Still, you're not getting something like that. And of course, that culminates with the TNA World Championship being defended by Moose of the System against the wanted man, Nick Nemeth. If Nick Nemeth becomes the TNA World Champion, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Well, let's see. Considering all the state of flux TNA is currently in, would it really be surprising if Moose is actually leaving?
Yeah, especially with the fact that, you know, he came out and said about Scott D'Amore and how much praise he gave him. Yeah, if Nick Nemeth wins this at Rebellion, we know why.
Yeah, I do feel like we are going to go for a different paradigm shift in TNA ahead of, you know how TNA Hard to Kill set back the genesis of TNA.
Well, and then it almost burned itself to the ground because the Owl wanted to screw everything up.
Well, fuck the
Stupid
Owl.
Owl.
He'll say that for a lot.
And Scott D'Amore, we don't know when he's gonna ever return to somewhere. Is he still trying to see if he could get back to TNA and buy it out, or is Tony Khan or Hunter gonna try and bid it for him?
I don't know at this point.
Seriously, can Tony Khan just hire the guy for God's sakes?
He needs somebody else behind the pen and paper, and we need somebody else to bring more forward for the
like have him run Ring of Honor.
Well, I mean, yeah, and again, the most predominant champion there, of course, is Athena, as MIT rules everything now.
Oh, there's been an update on Chris Jericho.
What?
Chris Jericho has returned to the trademark office.
There we go again.
That's the reason why the Learning Tree and the Jericho Vortex.
Yeah, it was good. And he also trademarked, and he also said the trademarked the rarefied air of Jericho.
Breathe it in, man.
You can't say rarefied air when that's the finishing move of Ash by Elegance in TNA. I'm just saying.
And he also trademarked the word educator.
That's Edge's old submission move name, the Educator with the double. Okay.
I'm about to say now it's the Education. We know what he has.
Now he's trying to and he trademarked the vortex of the Jericho Vortex. Now it's like, oh god, at least it'll be better than what Billy Corgan did.
That goes to show you that Chris Jericho, he listens, he sees the tweets.
He's been around long enough, guys. 30+ years. He knows a thing or two. Speaking of NWA, because I almost forgot, I always will give love to the women's division because that's the best thing there. Still pretty empowered. No stopping Kenzie Page right now, and she fears nobody. So keep preserving the Burke. And I guess Kylie Page and Ella Envy still want their NWA Women's Tag Championship back. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, so that being said, before we move into our main event, highlights of the biggest marquee matches here, where Dynasty looks to redefine what the feeling means in All Elite Wrestling. Anyone have any further thoughts regarding TNA Rebellion or any simple predictions?
Let me see if there's anything else that came over regarding Rampage. Let's see. Besides Ruby Soho's announcement of pregnancy, hooray!
Yay!
Let's see. I haven't found anything else out.
And again, folks, Rampage will be back-to-back after Collision this Saturday. So you're in for a 3-hour block just like last week with we did with Battle Belts 10. This time will be Collision and Rampage, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure your eyes and ears are open to that. If you continue to watch All Elite Wrestling content on a weekly basis in all forms, like for I'm crazy, but I'm a simple man, lifelong fan of pro wrestling. So, and I will be watching, of course. Friday, yay, I get to sleep. So,
I just had a thought. So considering we live in this multifaceted wrestling industry right now, and many of them collaborating, what if we get Konosuke Takeshita to take on Jon Moxley for the IWGP Heavyweight Belt?
I think that's literally where they could be going at this point, especially when he called up the Don Callis
family. But think about it. An AEW contracted wrestler, a DDT and AEW contracted wrestler fighting over the New Japan Pro Wrestling's premier belt.
Hey, Forbidden Door, clash of the companies, worlds colliding. I'm just saying, paradigm shift. Nothing is off limits when it comes to Jon Moxley.
Oh, and one more thing. Hey, Goldberg. How's Goldberg doing with his little Japanese insults?
No one gives a damn about. No one gives a damn about.
Did you hear what Goldberg said about Asuka?
No.
Oh God.
Oh no. Well, here's the thing. First, he decides to mispronounce her name as Asuki. And decide to basically express, I'm pissed off that this girl named Asuki beat my inflated streak. And I think it might have something to do with Triple H. And I'm like,
I'm having to bang your head in a friggin' locker all your damn career, and the only thing you have is 2 moves to your name. So whatever. I don't care about Goldberg or whatever the fuck you call it. All right. So anyway, TNA Rebellion.
Well, and we need to get our tradition back. X.
Yes.
There's been an update on X.
What's the tradition on X?
Elon Musk has begun the next state of his totalitarian plans of dystopia.
And what would that be?
He's going to start charging new users a fee before they can post, like, bookmark, or reply to tweets.
Well, again, it's a monopoly. Everything is a monopoly, and X.
And he says, "Look, you don't want to pay fine, but you got to serve a 3-month probation, essentially."
X going to give it to you. All right. So, well, that being said, fuck billionaires and their titanic turmoil ways and monopolizing. The only monopoly worth anything is a monopoly board game.
And there's been an update on Batista and his Hollywood career.
Batista.
What about him?
So Batista likes to say he wants to do more than just be action movie man like The Rock and Cena are.
Yes.
Well, has anyone watched the show from Nickelodeon, Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that show.
What's the villain for their upcoming animated movie?
Nah.
I like Batista. But no.
Don't worry. I'm sure he'll do something that's very memeable. That's his personality nowadays.
Well, memes seem to rule the internet. All right. Back to reality.
So, as we get back to reality of AEW Dynasty, this is the part where I think I should actually go because I haven't been paying attention to AEW content for the last months because I have work life.
Well, I always say priorities for passions, and bigger priority is work. I get that.
So I'm probably gonna head out since I don't really know how to make much predictions on that.
That's fair. I look forward though to your takeaways into the Wrestleverse afterwards.
All I know is that Drew, WWE, just give Drew the money for God's sakes.
Yeah,
look, as much as I would like to see Drew in New Japan, Drew Galloway kicking ass in New Japan or making jokes about Punk on AEW television, and that would be funny. Come on, the guys earned the Netflix money.
WWE don't care. They have the bigger wallet. And
also, did anyone see the Eclipse?
Yeah, the Eclipse was something that was unique.
Yeah.
Unique.
Apparently, people decided to go ahead and showcase why this decade has been an insult and bashing on science and fact, because immediately afterwards, suddenly Eyes Hurt spiked on Google.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, society has no bounds.
Yeah, I already know that. But again, I don't work in society. I focus on myself and mentality and enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. There's the reason why I'm so isolated and introverted.
Oh, and Mark Henry went after Kairi Sane.
What else is new when someone goes after somebody else in the business?
Yeah, he claimed that she doesn't disrespect the business.
Well, everyone has their opinion, whether it's accurate
because she stayed in the ring for 2 seconds longer. Yeah, I don't even know why. I just was like, Okay, so you're an absolute psycho because you just said if you were a woman, you would be in her up.
And that's why Hangman said on his tweet, God, I hope when I get old, I don't become like these gruntled former wrestlers.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, protect your mentality. Avoid stupidity and mediocrity. Don't be foolish. Respect one another and support each other. Simple as that. All right.
Let's see if there's anything else I can think of. I think that's about it. Wait, King already knows about this, but do you know about the zombie cicadas coming this year?
No.
Oh, there's going to be trillions of zombie cicadas coming from the ground, and they're very horny, and they can transmit fungal infection.
There it is. I was waiting on that.
You are concerned way too much with this world, man. You are concerned way too much with this world.
Look,
I don't give a fuck.
Look, no, it's either that or I talk about this YouTuber that made a 38-hour video about Beverly Hillbillies.
Beverly.
And I'm not kidding. There's an actual video on Quentin Reviews that's 38 hours and 30 minutes. And I cry.
This is why I don't wonder about society.
All right. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. Oh, and Tiger Style Pro is all elite. Hooray!
Oh, nice.
Yeah, good video editing. He's been helping with the video packages.
Yeah, and I do think that helps out a lot, especially with the main event.
And one last thing, WWE. Be glad you got rid of Kevin Dunn. Those cameras are great now.
The seamless transition to Sami Zayn's entrance was probably one of the greatest right entrances I've ever seen. I love that. It makes it feel more organic, more free flowing. I really do like what they've done lately with the camera work in WWE. I can't argue that.
Me neither.
I look forward. Man, firing Kevin Dunn was the best option they ever did. They would tell Kevin Dunn, hey Kevin Dunn, can you change your stance on cameras and whatnot? I quit. I'm pretty sure kicking himself, realizing he could have done that the whole time to get rid of him, and that would have ended it.
Well, if common sense was common, more people would use it.
Yeah.
Quote J.J. Williams.
All right. See y'all later.
Eric, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, bro.
Enjoy your insanity, my friend. Never change, but please take care of yourself. God bless you and your mentality and your family.
Take care, and always remember, everybody, yay, alleys.
And this is the part where he gonna dip.
You, God bless it, that fucker. Damn it, every fucking time. God.
I just knew somewhere in there he was going to implement that. I just didn't know where.
Ever stop this running gag. Fight forever is a chant. This gag is gonna last forever. This gag's gonna be on my fucking gravestone at this point, fighting you all by the time I become dead. This is gonna stop with y'all. Seriously, nah. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going on a tangent. You all started this. I'm gonna fucking finish this. Why? Why does it become a thing? Why is it continuality? Why can you all not leave me alone about that 2-word quote? Why? It's not even sentimental why. I don't want to hear his why. I want a legitimate, constructed dissertation on why you all cannot leave me alone about this.
I've left you alone, but I will say this. The reason why they give you a hard time about it is because how much, and yes, I'm going to bring this word up, even though it was basically used, and you hate this word, a simp. Okay? Let's call it for what it is. You, sir, are a simp for the money.
Simp is not a word. You fucking don't know how to spell it in Oxford Dictionary. This is why the education system is like 21 across the world. Damn the hell we know how to do math and science when we're $3 billion in fucking national debt. but you all can freaking emoji meme-a-con and fucking short-term notation, a freaking 5-page paper, and fucking live off the word sip, but you can't fucking write a damn essay for your life. Y'all are fucking idiots. The short notation society and the stupid short-term identity crisis notation for favoritism and supporting somebody that you respect in what they do, and taking that way out of context while you all have dark fantasies in a red room without sunlight, hoping to lose your virginity, don't know how to start a damn family, can't get off your damn high horse, actually start an academic journey. You gotta go down that proverbial dark path because you can't figure do anything.
Oh my god! Oh my god! How much of this animosity have you had built up all these years?
That was just literally the tipping point of the solar flare of my anger towards this world. And that fucking word that's not a word. Might as well make something that rhymes with orange a word that Eminem actually made relevant in a damn song just to put over his damn career. God, this world's more fucking warped up than leaving Pete Diddy too late.
Hey, no Diddy, no diddler. Oh. Look, man, I told you, I've laid off, okay? I have not been giving you that much time or basically annoyance. I left that alone. It's all Cindy, Lex, and Jose, and Josh, okay? That's all on them now. And Casey, too, when he drops it from time to time.
God.
I have left out.
Fucking misconstruing women in wrestling, you know, I can't fucking know the difference between a padlock and a wrist lock. Fucking idiots. Ugh. All right. Well, I'm never getting monetized, but fuck the internet. That being said, didn't even get to talk about Rebellion, but you know what? Fuck it. I'll go on a rebellious behavior on Cindy predicting Rebellion. Stay tuned for that, folks. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Me and Dattila, as you all watch this insanity. If you choose to watch this insanity, I pray to God for your mentality. I apologize for nothing. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and try and close this thing out here under the 2-hour mark, unlike Tony Khan, who I still think 3 hours, 58 minutes, and 30 seconds is still too damn long. But I digress. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Dynasty and what's ahead. Again, first time pay-per-view in AEW. As again, we always close with our Elite preview. As we look towards Dynasty, yes, I know there were 2 matches added. Do I think they need to be added on Dynasty? No. But I do think one match does have more purpose in where it's at and what needs to happen. So we could slightly talk about that if we want. We're going to focus on the other matches here because, again, Hook, Line, WWE Championship. I'm sorry. Seriously. Why is this main card? Should be 0 hour, Tony Khan. You're blowing it, man! But anyway, we know we got implications high regarding the TBS Championship, as Will Nightingale going in less than 100%. We'll go after TBS Champion Julia Hart. Once again, does the house always win? Speaking of the house, we have trios actions with Adam Cole and Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe taking on the House of Black. Obviously, Malachi Black has set his sights on Adam Copeland's TNT Championship. Fuck my life. We also have Roderick Strong defending the AEW International Championship. Kyle O'Reilly, of course, former friends, former Undisputed Tag Partners. And again, that is no simple comment or tagline, folks, for those that follow the back of NXT. As the Divine Artist looks to end Roderick Strong's internal heartache towards him without the use of a backbreaker, but we'll probably try and break his arm or leg in the process. We, of course, have the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, defending the AEW Continental Championship against the Bastard Pack. Timeless Tony Storm has the title, but Thunder Rosa sees red, hoping we'll see this thing back in full color as the AEW Women's World Championship's on the line, but I'm pretty sure her timeless entourage will not be too far behind. And, of course, in the main event culminating, it is Samoa Joe, the King of Television, our AEW World Champion, defending the AEW World Championship against Swerve Strickland, who will see finally if he doesn't choke or get choked out, and finally owns the keys to whose house?
Swerve's house.
Or is he simply living in Samoa Joe's kingdom? So, that being said, a very unique first-time pay-per-view here again as AEW not only tries to restore the feeling, but create a dynasty. And the Dynasty literally might just be the first foundation in a new world under those 3 letters waiting, if you avoid the Twitter twat nonsense and bringing back up the past. But I digress on that. Go look at Into the Renegade. I have not yet. Or check out Open Mic Night, where they went on their own rants. But again, I don't focus on negativity. I look at positives. There's far too many positives versus the negative focus on this business, because God forbid anyone talks positive on the internet unless you're just trying to get clicks or clickbait or monetize yourself shouting shit every 5 damn minutes. But what do I know? I earn an honest living working in IT. So that being said, again, not judging, just saying. Everyone's their own person. But at the end of the day, I don't live for the internet, nor for it. Thank Christ. King, what's your thoughts on this AEW Dynasty pay-per-view? Of course, folks, as you know, it's the first AEW pay-per-view that you don't have to just buy on Bleacher Report. You can buy on Triller TV. You can buy your their pay-per-view resources. You can find your local Dave & Buster's. This is over the website. They also are streaming now internationally in Australia. Also, other markets can get it on YouTube. And, of course, there's Sky TV and so much more as AEW continues to expand their outreach when it comes to their brand. Now, Blaine Totally Khan wasn't a fucking madman in a bad way. King, what's your thoughts on this pay-per-view so far and the outlook of it?
For it to be a first-time card, and again, shout out to all you St. Louis people who finally get another AEW coming your way this Sunday. Much appreciated. Much thanks to y'all. Hope y'all have a good time.
It's extremely rich in professional wrestling history. You don't need to just look at the NWA for that either.
Exactly. For it to be a first time, and especially with St. Louis, the people of St. Louis getting AEW back to their city, it's shaping up to be another classic pay-per-view in its second pay-per-view of the AEW ecosystem.
Right.
Because you look at this card, and of course you got one match where why is, like, it was so perfect too, but why did you have to add Jericho and Hook? Like, I get the story of Hook trying to learn the, be under the learning tree of Jericho. I get the story, yeah, quote unquote learning tree. But this match did not need to be on the Dynasty card. That match should have been like for a Dynamite, maybe Collision, maybe Rampage, just either one of those 3 shows. It did not need to fit Dynasty. But other than that,
out of control. It's a good idea. It's another title.
Yeah. Anyways, what was I getting ready to say before you said that? Dang it. I had it, and then you had came up with that, but 0 hour, yes. Finally, it's about time. It's about time that we finally get some order in both Ring of Honor and AEW Trios divisions. Because, yes, the Bang Bang Gang, Bullet Club Gold, have basically defended their titles more than the Acclaim, who are still your current AEW World Trios Championships and have done jack diddly squat with those titles.
Yep.
So I'm glad this is a title versus title situation, to where hopefully both of the titles can get unified and we can move past this and hopefully get the Trios division back in order. But again, this is what the same Trio division, that's what caused the tag team division to take a step back, which I feel like that was hurting the tag division. Because I used to always say about AEW's tag team division, always on lockdown. And we're slowly getting back to that, but it's hurting the Trios division. But I hope these titles get unified so that way we can hopefully build some proper movement to the Trios division. Hopefully.
That's still a stretch, bro.
I know. And I feel like I'm becoming a madman myself when it comes to him, but I just hope so. I just hope. I'm praying and hoping.
Part of me still thinks at this point you kind of just don't need the Trios titles anymore based on the outlook of the entire AEW Ring of Honor Tony Khan Multiverse of Madness ecosystem. But again, different conversation. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some of these matches that have definitely a bit more story context. Because, yeah, I look at this card for what it was before Wednesday night, where Madman Tony Khan added another 2 matches. And again, one does have context, but it really was 0 hour, nothing more needed for it. So that's on there. The other one, you could have just put this on the 0 hour. I know, big chance for Hulk on the paper, but the championship's not even a freaking actual title recognized by the AEW ecosystem. So stop holding it up to you as such a mark. Anyway, I look at this card, though, in its original context of 8 matches, and I look at the ones that have maybe the bigger story implications, future ramifications that could come out of them, and it's kind of like half and half for me, where the other ones are like, okay, bitter grudge, okay, run it back, okay, showcase this and maybe foretell the future a little bit. Okay, let's just to see Okada in singles action. But the other ones here, I mean, again, you figure about the world championship, you figure about defining that feeling and who truly owes that moniker as I'm the best going in professional wrestling. And this women's division where Monet is looking to really bring a profit, if we're being honest, not just to herself, but to the AEW women's ecosystem. There's a lot of history we can figure about coming out here regarding the TBS championship too. So let's go ahead and slowly talk a little bit about those. So again, we kind of slowly talked about tonight during our watch-along. TBS champion Julia Hart defends the TBS championship against Willow Nightingale, of course, coming off that open house match last night against Legit Later First. Been a very dominant champion alongside Sky Blue at some times, just saying. Arguably the most effective duo in the entire AEW ecosystem. And she's been champion now since AEW Full Gear after beating Chris Statlander. And yeah, she has finally pinned her. Well, no, she submitted her. Excuse me, didn't pin her. She submitted her in that street fight a few weeks ago. And of course, pinned Sky Blue, but Sky Blue and her have been in alliance ever since. Dark Heart, Sky Heart, whatever you want to call it, Black Heart, whatever the hell you want to call it in a wrestling context, not the other context, you friggin' idiots. Willow Nightingale, of course, earned this chance coming out of a fatal 4-way match, outlasting Anna Jay, Chris Statlander, and Sky Blue. And of course, we saw tonight on Dynamite, or excuse me, last night, as of course, time moves fast. Last night on Dynamite, not only was she attacked verbally, and we're assuming, but we don't know for sure, she was attacked prior. She came out and, of course, ate a chainloaded fist to the face and was knocked down unconscious as the ref called her incapacitated in the Heartless Lock on the already damaged shoulder, heavy kinesio tape sported. But we also know another person in this picture, not just Sky Blue, but Mercedes Monet, who said, and I quote, "I look forward towards facing the winner of this match when I officially am clear to compete at Double or Nothing." Looking to challenge for the TBS Championship, and of course, she still, I think, holds out a little bit of unfinished business with Nightingale for the proverbial injury that happened at Resurgence last year when Willow became the inaugural NJPW Strong Women's Champion. But that being said, it's almost like Julia Hart right now. She's almost being played as an under factor here, but also maybe the most dangerous factor. It's the ones you don't think about that is actually the most effective. And Julia Hart, for all we know, click, backstage when the lights went out, Monet was attacked, and Monet hasn't forgotten that. Monet coming out with the equalizer was able to fend off Julia Hart, encouraging further harm to Willow Nightingale, but there was no Sky Blue anywhere in proximity here, and I think that could change here on Sunday. So you look at Sky Blue and Julia Hart, and you got Willow, and you got Mercedes Monet, who truly comes out on top of the end, does the house always wins, who deserves to call themselves the face of TBS. What's your outlook on this match, man? Right now, this is the biggest point that really is going to change, I think, the AEW women's division to a certain degree in the short term.
You forgot one name, and I'm surprised you didn't mention her.
I don't want to because I really hope it doesn't go that far, but I just figured Stokely Halfway always has his own agenda. And let's not forget when he inaugurated came into this, who he sought after. But go ahead and bring it up because that's kind of why I didn't.
Chris Statlander, and it's like the way how she came out like with the black gear when Willow cut her promo last week or 2 weeks ago on Dynamite, I can't remember which, and she came out in all black and she looked all serious with Stokely, and I was like, this is not usually how Chris would act when it comes to Willow. They're usually like, you know, best friends or whatnot and always vibrant and so happy, and I'm just like, I wonder if Stokely has gotten to her, like, slowly. And then, of course, the lights out. We don't know who could. I mean, yeah, the obvious suspect is, well, Sky Blue and Julia Hart. But how we know it couldn't be Willow? How we know it couldn't be Athena, because Athena has been throwing shots on Twitter to Mercedes, and Athena's trying to get that set up. Who else I can think of? That's only like names I can think of besides Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I mean, it could be Willow, because remember, like, Willow, when Mercedes made the save at Big Business, when she made her debut, when Willow came in with the save with Chris Statlander, noticed how Willow was still holding the chair and was hesitant to to hit her in the back with a cheap shot, with a chair shot to the back. And Mercedes was like, "You kidding me? You was gonna swing that at me?" And then she dropped it down. So it was like, how we know it couldn't have been Willow besides the obvious suspects. But going along here, it's like, and of course, Mercedes wants either Julia or Willow, but her main mission statement right now is to add more gold and add more profit. Like you said, add more profit to her. And that profit is the TBS championship. And of course, we've seen the teases between Julia and Mercedes. And then we saw the tease of Willow and Mercedes too could be ran back. As much as I like Julia, I feel like Willow should have her title, her first title in AEW, and see where that goes along with it, because, well, the story is right there. The more storied history is right there. And of course, with Mercedes still wanting championship gold in AEW, Willow's going to take it off of Julia at Dynasty. And that's going to lead to Mercedes and Willow 2 in Vegas for the TBS championship.
It just feels like too obvious at this point to be that. And then I think about, if Chris is an X factor here, what if Chris turns on Willow and you get Chris versus Willow as a grudge feud? We know how far those two can push each other one-on-one. And it's not proverbially out of the realm of possibility if Mercedes Monet is being pushed as a baby face for now, boss, and goes after Julia Hart, which again, AEW original, both AEW originals, but the youngest AEW original, the best built AEW women's character, not named Timeless Tony Storm. That's actually an AEW original, might I add. It just feels like it would be a big push to give Julia Hart that chance at that moment against Mercedes Monet for the TBS Championship, even if it could be where she goes bankrupt or bust in the City of Sin, Las Vegas. It just feels like right now there is literally a teeter-totter effect in the relationship of Willow and Chris, in Willow losing and Willow winning, while at the end of the day, I can still see Mercedes Monet taking on either Willow or Julia Hart, regardless at Double or Nothing, TBS title applications included or not. At first, I wasn't even thinking about the TBS Championship. I was just thinking about Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Monet, because at the end of the day, I still go off the fact that Julia Hart and Chris Statlander have not done it yet one-on-one since, proverbially to my knowledge, the Full Gear Triple Threat Fallout. And I don't think that Julia Hart has gotten the better of Chris Statlander yet one-on-one. And I think that right there is unfinished business. So I am curious to see how this all plays out and who truly is the hero and the villain in this story. And is the house just the narrator? And does the house always win? And does Sky Blue come into play on behalf of Julia Hart? We'll have to think about. But I think right now, just because it does seem like at the end of the day, you got to make that sell. You got to do that story. You got over a year-long wait in the storytelling when you figure out when Resurgence was last year. It does make the most sense that the marquee match is right now Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Monet, title or not. So I think just based off that, I kind of have to go with you. And plus that shoulder work over, that also helps Mercedes Monet, who of course likes to exercise the bank statement, which further works on the neck and shoulders. I just don't know what it means for Julia Hart. And I guess I just want Julia Hart at the end of the day to come out still strong going forward, because she has literally been the best built female character for the longest time in AEW. So we'll see. All right. Well, moving on from there, talking about half of these matches. I mean, again, bruv, Bruv. I'm just gonna let this sit here for a moment because I can't believe what I'm about to fucking call this Sunday. Oh, and stay tuned, folks. Me and my friends at the NJPW Media will be on the call here, live commentary, watch along event. You'll see a watch along trailer during Super Day tonight for TNA Rebellion. We will be calling this and so much more, including every one of those shows you saw in those schedule sheets I created. I'll talk more about that at the end. Anyway, King, bro, take it away.
It's so beautiful. You mean to tell me that we're about to have two of the best, two of the greatest, two of the pure best, pound by pound, technical wrestlers going at it 1v1 in the All Elite Bruv and Will Ospreay and the American Dragon Bryan Danielson? If you would have told me about this match maybe 4, maybe 3 years ago, I would have called you slim to none chance. But here we are. And it's about to happen in one of the most richest professional wrestling cities in the United States of America, in St. Louis. And how fitting, right? And the more takeaway, like you said when we started this episode, to see who is the greatest technical wrestler of this era, of this generation. Oh, my goodness. And I kind of picked it up to where, I think it was, 2 or 3 weeks ago on Dynamite when both of them had back-to-back singles matches, and Danielson was taking on Archer. And, no, Ospreay was taking on Archer. Right? Or no, Ospreay was taking on Hobbs, Danielson was taking on Archer.
You got it. Watch.
And you noticed how in both of their matches, it was basically to one-up each other when it comes to their respective big men opponents to see, who can outdo who can out-technical who, and how to, take their big man down and how to pick apart one of their bodies to go and target after. I picked up on that because of the fact that this is very smart, because the whole build is basically to see who the greatest technical wrestler is.
Yep.
And when you look at match catalog by catalog between Danielson and Ospreay, both of them respectively have had matches of the year thus far. And it's kind of hard to pick between both of these professional technicians to see who I will go with. But since we are exactly, and this is where I'm about to close it out with my prediction, we are on Danielson's final run as a full-time AEW wrestler, in which I have which we pulled up the pay-per-view schedule. It looks like Wrestle Dream will be the swan song of Danielson's full-time career in AEW, which is fitting.
Considering it's in Washington, that you might be onto something.
Exactly. Oh, man. I might change my predictions later when you pull up the form. Early prediction, I'm going with Ospreay because the momentum he's been riding on ever since Revolution has been white hot. And I know Tony has got him in main event plans already out the gate. And I have a feeling this white hot momentum, it will take a few bumps here and there. But I feel like this road he's been on is for an AEW World Championship down the line.
Just a matter of where, when, and who is on the other side of the marquee, bro. But yeah, exactly. Will Ospreay again came out here and said that I am the best professional wrestler in the world, and I came here to prove it. And Bryan Danielson here has given him that chance to prove it. Bryan literally talking about that match conducted to the Catch Gun Revolution. So fucking good.
Oh my God.
Was one of the best that he has ever seen in his damn life. And that says something for the American Dragon. Bryan Danielson has been involved in this game since 2002, to my knowledge. And of course, Will Ospreay, to your point, undefeated so far in AEW. Instant classics with the likes of Kyle Fletcher, Kenosuke Takeshita, and we just fucking saw what he did with Claudio Castagnoli, bro. And that was just an AEW. That's a match of what he's done already this year in Michael Oku in arguably the best match at Wrestle Kingdom 18. Just saying. So it's just one of those things where right now you just got to go with the longevity factor here. And you got to go with the fact that Bryan Danielson is not necessarily about winning. It's about proving. It's about reminding. It's about restoring that feeling to professional wrestling, but also honoring it. And if Will Ospreay is going to be the GOAT this generation versus the GOAT of arguably the last generation in Bryan Danielson, who Rigo called the perfect wrestler, this is the biggest must-win in Will Ospreay's career that will define him and truly will tell if he was born for greatness, like the American Dragon. I gotta go with you right now. It almost seems like the Don Callis fans do everything in their power on behalf of the All Elite World to make sure that Will Ospreay can win this. But I don't think Will Ospreay wants none of it. And the only way this comes back to bite Ospreay on the ass is if Don Callis turns on him. And I pray to God there is no Don Callis factor this Sunday in what should be a once-in-a-lifetime true dream match that we will never see again, but will always remember. But I gotta give it right now to Will Ospreay. And look at Bryan Danielson's track record. I mean, he lost to Eddie Kingston when it came down to the Continental Crown Championship. And he honored the man, respected him. He's already faced all-time greats in Jun Akiyama and Yuji Nagata. He also has had great matches in and out of AEW, including Arena Mexico against one of his all-time heroes. It doesn't need a win. It's an odyssey. It's the greatest run of his career, the last of his run. And he has not given us one bad match. And might I add, his year started with facing Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 18, and now Kazuchika Okada is in AEW. Oh, taking on the Bastard, by the way, for the first time ever, defending his Continental Crown Championship. That's just a match in itself that I'm just like, let's fucking go. I know he's not losing, but let's fucking go. But, yeah, it's one of those matches here where I almost feel like a time limit draw doesn't do it justice. We have to have a winner. And we know it's going to have a 60-minute time limit. And we know Bryan Danielson can go 63 minutes. We know that Will Ospreay can endure for 63 minutes after that fucking ridiculous steel cage match.
Mm-hmm.
But if Will Ospreay doesn't win this, I don't know if he necessarily could have the truest of comebacks in All Elite Wrestling. It's honestly trial by fire. And I know you could say the same thing when it comes to the fact, hey, didn't break a Kazuchika Okada when it mattered the most. It's different here. It's not about necessarily, teacher, friend, somebody that brought me in. It's about a guy that is the standard, bruv, and wants to take that torch and prove it. Put up or shut up. Will Ospreay has to win. Proverbially, in my opinion. Do I think he needs to win? Maybe. But I wouldn't mind seeing Bryan Danielson get one last big win on pay-per-view. Just saying. All right.
Agreed.
Well, as we go from there, talking about a timeless classic, let's go ahead and talk about the other side of the women's division when it comes to the AEW Women's World Championship, where we might see a whole different face show up and hold the gold. Everything's been seen in black and white, except for Thunder Rosa lately after that Champagne Chaos, where she's now seeing red, to the point that she's looking to do much more than smear the lipstick on Timeless Toni Storm's face. Once Thunderstorm, once Forbidden Door opponents, now the most bitter of rivals, and arguably the greatest threat to the Timeless era, even with the Timeless entourage that will be in tow. La Mera Mera Thunder Rosa goes one-on-one against Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. Now, look, I think you're as delusional as her, but I think you and I can both agree upon the fact that right now we are living in the Timeless era, but I think like all movies, like all original series, like all great cinematic masterpieces, they run their course and have a final curtain call. And I know the Forbidden Door was teased, but the Forbidden Door doesn't need to have the AEW Women's World Championship in play. And Thunder Rosa never lost the title. She rightfully earned this opportunity, beating Deonna Purrazzo, of course, alongside her in tag team match and picked up the win. And Deonna already had the chance, and Deonna still sets her sights on the prize and should be champion, 27,000. But Thunder Rosa beat Mariah May, earned this opportunity, And to the point now that Timeless Toni Storm has disrespected not only her, but her culture and what she stands for, and has made this absolutely personal. With Forbidden Door on the horizon, but not necessarily the next time we come to pay-per-view, as of course we have Double or Nothing. I do think about right now that there might be a bigger story here with Mariah May and Timeless Toni Storm, not concerning the championship, especially after Mina Shirakawa embraced her former friend, forever. Damn, man. I just think right now that the AEW women's division needs a complete facelift when it comes to the Women's World Championship. So I want to see things in a brighter light and maybe in full 64-bit Technicolor. And I think that Thunder Rosa kind of needs to win here. Not necessarily needs to win herself, but I think the women's division needs the win for the reset. And truth be told, we're coming up to 1 year to the day that Jamie Hayter, I'm a hater, was formerly the AEW Women's World Champion. And I hope she comes back soon and gets back that moment. But I just think right now, man, it's time for a change. Thunder Rosa's back, and I think that she's the one that you spearhead this women's division with. I think La Mera needs to get it done. What's your take?
I can't believe what I'm about to say. I feel like I'm about to be gut-wrenched. Deep breath.
This is where you put personal feelings to the side.
Yep. Toni Storm has done a lot with this championship, especially in this timeless era. I have enjoyed it. Of course, I always give you a hard time. Cindy always give you a hard time about it in the chat when you first started out the good morning, everybody.
I still expect you all to do those stupid clips that are going to piss me off.
That's all Cindy. But
God bless Andy Darling, SC.
But yeah, it's about to run its course, and I feel like we're now at the climax of this timeless era, because if Collision proved me anything when she faced Azumi on Saturday night, that match brought back the Toni Storm that deep down I know is still there.
Stardom.
Don't get stardom roots, especially with more stardom influence and more stardom play into this now finally partnership with AEW that people have been asking for, that people been wanting. But Rossy Ogawa, which good luck with Marigold, by the way, sir. Which of course Rossy had a lot to do with it, because he did not want his stardom to come to AEW. But now with stardom influence in AEW, of course, with teases with Mina Shirakawa, which, like, my goodness, we want Mina. Get that hashtag going.
Looking forward to her next US tour for sure. Arigato.
Exactly. Get that going. Yeah, man, especially with the promo she cut on Collision. That was the Thunder Rosa that I needed to see. That was the Thunder Rosa that was at St. Patrick's Day Slam with her and Britt. That was the Thunder Rosa that I needed to see back, and that proved that basically my pick was Toni, of course, with this match. But of course, yep, that blew everything out. I'm going with Thunder Rosa, and of course, you can, since Deanna is still eyeing for that prize, and of course, Deanna thinks that Thunder Rosa took the spotlight away from her in that tag match with her and Toni and Mariah May. There's a story within that too, and it says Deanna still wants the prize. You can have that match at Double or Nothing. Bingo. Between Thunder Rosa and Deanna Purrazzo for the AEW Women's World Championship. I'm going with.
Yep. Go ahead, say it.
And I'm going with Thunder Rosa. And of course, you can have, and of course, with Forbidden Door coming up, and of course, you got Azumi, who's coming back, which she confirmed that she will be coming back to the States for Forbidden Door. And of course, you got Mina Shirakawa playing, of course, with the Club Venus storyline. And it basically, I come up and make a joke. It's a custody of Mariah May match at this rate.
Pretty much. I mean, if we're being honest here.
So basically, you don't even need the title needed in the storyline. It's basically, who is Mariah going to side with at the end of this timeless universe that we are all experiencing? So Thunder Rosa basically does not need to play a part in that. Her and Deanna Purrazzo can have a storyline and have a banger at Double or Nothing. I'm going with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, and again, you literally are just building. If we want to build more of the women's division, build sub stories, build subplots. I don't know how I feel yet about will it not give us Trish Statlander, but I do think that's on the horizon. I think still be halfway to the influence in that at the end of the day. But that's a whole different conversation. And then, of course, like you just alluded to, Mariah May right now, which teacher do you care more about? Which one values you more? Where do you stand out on your own? Again, Club Venus forever, Rose Gold forever. And again, like I said, run back the classic that I saw live at Slammiversary 2021. Opposite Rose, Thunder Rosa, champion, Diana Purrazzo, aware challenger. I just think it writes itself. Boom, there's two women's matches right there for the double or nothing card, even if necessarily they don't do timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May, but they tease the idea of that match happening later, or that leads into, to your point, Mina Shirakawa versus timeless Toni Storm to defend the honor of Mariah May, or to put timeless Toni Storm in her place. So at the end of the day, it's time for a change. She's had this title long enough. She also, of course, won this title at Full Gear. Technically speaking, we have two brand new women's champions, ironically, maybe happening at Dynasty. So again, Dynasty, like I called it, Clash Champions, not really the fuck word you want to use. It literally feels like the proverbial resetting of the landscape. And I think right here, this is one of your biggest implications of that, if we're truly going to see which way the women's division is going forward. But speaking of which, as I also alluded to, Kazuchika Okada will defend the Continental Crown, or that Continental Championship against Pac. Watch. We, of course, have the fallout of friends of the AEW National Championship. Roderick Strong will defend against Kyle O'Reilly. TNT title now on the line, but again, Malachi Black says sights on Evan Coleman's prize, trios action. But before we get to our main event, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it to you. This is your boys. This is Tag Team Wrestling. We got to talk about the championship. We honor the AEW Tag Team Championships, but Young Bucks FTR4 ladder match, aka AEW Tag Team Championships.
Full Gear 2020. Young Bucks beat them. Dynamite 2022. FTR got them. 2023. All in. FTR got them again. 2-1, right? And we know how rivalries go. We know how series go. And I feel like this is like a best of series at this rate. It never ends until you have that fourth winner. Right now, we are at 2-1 FTR match history. And now it's time to reopen that wound and hopefully put a Band-Aid back on that wound.
Oh, boy.
Now, this is where I feel like, and I'm going to bring two things into this. One is Jack Perry. It didn't do nothing for the Bucks and FTR. It more so to where it helped Jack Perry's star rise to where his shop is basically sold out of the Scapegoat black t-shirts and the white t-shirts. They are completely sold out as we speak on Jack Perry's Scapegoat shop. Oh. Now, if you're wondering why Jack Perry's star is rising, it's because he defended himself in that brawl. We're not going to mention the other guy's name here. We're not going to mention that. But it helped gain a heat reaction on him to where lots of people in Chicago gave him the ECW one night stand John Cena 2006 treatment with the whole SWAT. Exactly. Public enemy number one. When in pro wrestling, you gain a reaction. You want either a good reaction or a bad reaction, but a reaction is a reaction nonetheless. And that's what helped Jack Perry. Now, two. And this is where I feel like is going to be basically a big boost in the tag division that I once loved. Per bodyslam.net from Cassidy Haynes, who is a reliable source like Sean Ross Sapp and his Fightful team. One source has told in this certain Detroit camp that told AEW not told AEW, but told Body Slam that you see what I'm doing here? What's this one I'm doing?
That would be the Michigan sign for two of the highest free agents currently in the market. And go check out TNA, folks, but they gave you a play as a 5 of the greatest matches most machine guns to find, including against Beer Money and Team 3D. Of course, talking about, I don't know, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
Rumor states and rumor has reported that they are finalizing a deal with AEW to where right now, currently as we speak, they are in creative talks. Now, if the rumor comes true on Sunday, who will benefit more with Motor City Machine Guns coming in? Because they're no strangers to this AEW ecosystem, as they were in a 6-man trios action with Jay Lethal at All Out. They're no strangers to this AEW ecosystem. If Tony Khan somehow, some way, if true, gets these two, you just elevated your tag team division a whole lot more than it's already been. It's already stacked as it is. But you add a legendary tag team like the Motor City Machine Guns here, that's going to be a big boost. Now, who do I want coming out of this? It's right now FTR 2, Young Bucks 1. And that's why I brought them to before I made my prediction. Jack Perry is going to somehow, some way cost FTR, because the way how Matthew and Nicholas have been praising this man and have been teasing him on Instagram and have been mentioning him in their promos, especially with last week's, controversial whatever. Jack Perry is going to cost FTR, and the Young Bucks going to tie this series up 2-2, and they will become your first ever 3-time AEW World Tag Team Championships with the help of Jack Perry, and Jack Perry will get inserted into the new elite. And of course, if come true, and that's why I brought this second part in play, you tease Young Bucks and Motor City Machine Guns ran back. But yeah, Young Bucks are winning because of Jack Perry.
That's right. We also got to mention that this was elevated into a ladder match originally when it was just standard tag team championship vacated match. And to this point right now, the Young Bucks have not faced FTR in a ladder match. But the last time they were involved in a ladder match, of course, they won tag team gold against Jurassic Express. It's one of those things, though, where, again, it almost feels like it was written to be like this. And to your point, it almost feels like they're trying to create a proverbial best of 5 series now. Young Bucks were tied up. That means they have to run it back one last time and finish out the saga. Would they go back 1 year full to the day of their last loss and finish it out at AEW All In Wembley Stadium, though? And would people accept that? And this whole idea of Jack Perry being the scapegoat in this, and the proverbial, propaganda of him showing up and the ladder match protecting maybe FTR in defeat. It just feels like one of those things where the ladder match, I always think gimmick matches are not only there to end stuff, but to protect somebody in defeat. And a ladder match with the Young Bucks, I don't think would hurt them if they lost. And part of me wants to still think that FTR will win this, especially after the way that they lost the titles in that crazy short squash against Leslie Rebecca Stocks and, of course, the Big Bill. I'm really torn on this, but you bring a lot of logic. Again, it's where your heart versus your mind goes, because you look at the longer-term planning and maybe some storytelling. And again, Generation Me versus Motor Machine Guns was a freaking thing in TNA. And I could definitely see Tony Khan being the guy that looks back at all things wrestling history, could run that back under his promotion. It almost feels like that proverbial match that the Young Bucks actually might want. So as much as I want to go with FTR, I kind of have to agree with you here. And it just feels like right now, being EVPs, they're going to use every source possible, including probably Okada, to make sure that they come out with the tag team championships. This freaking new elite decked out in gold almost seems proverbially just waiting to happen. Not so much a prediction, but a spoiler. So I think I have to go with you. I have to go with the Young Bucks on this too. What it means for FTR, Lord only knows. Get some more partners, take some time off, think about future choices. It's one of those things where they've carried themselves to such a degree in tag team wrestling and done everything possible. I don't know what they need to do at this point. And it's just muttered right now with the fact that we don't know the direction of the AEW tag team ecosystem. So, I think I got to go proverbially with the Young Bucks as well. And again, folks, we'll be talking more about this on Stupid Ditting, me and JJ at least. Stay tuned for that, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday night. As again, me and Attila and possibly JJ will be talking more in depth on TNA Rebellion here tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. All Stupid Dittings are live. That being said, we're finally reaching the end of this crazy soiree. So let's go ahead and talk about not only our main event, but what is now truthfully the AEW Dynasty main event as we finish things out here before my voice finally gives out. Whose house? Who's right? Whose championship? Whose time? Whose dynasty? Simply put, it is Samoa Joe, the King of Television, our current AEW World Champion. Of course, laid out his challenger countless times over, including last night with a muscle buster. The guy that is looking to finally hit that one kill shot needed with the utmost confidence and create history and form his own dynasty and start his own legacy, or as it continues cemented history. It's Samoa Joe versus Swerve, finally 1-on-1 for the AEW World Championship. Does Swerve choke or get choked out, or does he finally get crowned? Of course, we know the history of Swerve, who cemented his spot with the wars he had with Heyman and Page, and not only the Texas Death Match, but the match last year at Wrestle Dream, and how Heyman's personal vendetta cost him at Revolution, seeing if he could actually find a way to win, as Heyman verbally tapped out to Samoa Joe in the Coquina Clutch, halting his championship ambitions at Revolution, and figured he got eliminated for the picture altogether. Swerve stayed steadfast, though, and of course, overcome Konosuke Takeshita, the Alpha, to earn this number one contendership spot once more, but truthfully now, all on his own. Go at it solo. Prince Nana dancing encouragement in tow. We talked about it a long time here. Was Samoa Joe just the guy to transition the AEW title? Because MJF was so damn banged up, and pride was making him more and more at risk to his own self at the end of the day. Was it just that proverbial note to finally bring somebody forward in AEW, to carry it in a different direction, to restore the feeling, but a different feeling through new eyes? He talked about before his number one mission statement, and nothing will hold him down. Nothing will stop him. No other obstacles will keep him waiting. He wants to become the first African-American AEW World Champion. Does he finally get it done here? Well, we've already seen the likes of Trick Williams whoop that trick with Carmelo Hayes one last time and send him off to the main roster. Yeah, I believe he's also going in the draft, folks. I'm pretty sure he's getting drafted, if I'm going to guess, Monday Night Raw. It's one of those things where right now, if Swerve doesn't win here, I don't need a year-long saga or a run back to see him finally win the championship. I think he's earned this. He deserves it. And he damn sure will have one hell of a run with it. Does AEW still need Samoa Joe as the face of their company, as the guy to push it forward, as the guy to continue to cement already his incredible legacy? Or do we finally see Swerve Strickland create his own history? He's the people's choice, but is he AEW's choice to lead a new dynasty? King.
When Joe was made champ at World's End, in my mind, in my mind, I was like, okay, he might be transitional, and we're gonna see where it goes. Who we gonna put on the belt? Like get the strap next. Mm-hmm. Little did I know that one brought back the rankings. Two, has elevated the AEW World Championship scene to levels of, I don't know, Kenny Omega, John Moxley like, but better because of who he is and his name and validation of what he's about. Samoa Joe has elevated this AEW World Championship to heights I never thought I'd seen before or will ever see again. Swerve has been on the craziest white hot momentum that I've ever seen in AEW within its 5-year history. It is crazy how you see people, it don't matter what city they're in, it don't matter what country you're watching from, everybody I see on social media does the Prince Nana dance.
Including Aubrey Edwards.
Exactly. That man has had this crazy white hot momentum since Wrestle Dream. From October to April. That is a crazy long span of white hot momentum in AEW that Swerve has reached and has built himself and has earned. The promotional tours he's been doing, especially over in Jacksonville, holding, kind of gave you a tease, NTIAA Bankfield, home of the Jaguars, with the World Championship around his shoulder, wearing a Jaguars jersey, and has been promoting nonstop, and also is a crossover, not only actor, but a rapper as well, plugging in with all these connections.
He's a mogul.
In the entertainment world. In the mogul, that's why he's a mogul for a reason, the mogul embassy. Man, as much as I like Joe, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot do this Cody story long-esque length. Because it took Cody a year to finally finish his story. And of which I felt like that story should have finished at WrestleMania 39 itself.
Yeah.
We do not need to happen here with Swerve. You pull the trigger and you strike while the iron is hot still. Swerve will be crowned. Swerve will fulfill of what he has manifested this entire time. Swerve will be your first African American AEW World Champion. But looming in the distance, I have a feeling after this match, this is why this match is the main event for 2 reasons. I'm not going to say the other reason because, of course, if that does happen, of course, confetti, all that, bloop, bloop, bloop. But second, I think a certain cowboy might want his shot back because we have not heard a peep. We have not heard any mention of the Hangman since Matthew and Nicholas name dropped him saying that he was suspended from the Elite.
Yep.
You know a certain cowboy is looming in the distance once that match is over and if Swerve is crowned. Because Hangman said it back in January. He wants to get back his AEW World Championship. And if he sees Swerve hanging on to you, do you know how much fuel and how much anger he already has built up and will continue to add? Yeah. Swerve is going to get crowned at Dynasty, and I have a feeling Swerve and Hangman once again ran back, but this time for the AEW World Championship, but in Vegas.
Well, again, Double or Nothing is where it all began, and it certainly could be Hangman's end, but the bottom line, though, Swerve has had countless opportunities for championships up to this point, and he failed to capitalize. This is the richest prize in AEW. It's one-on-one, and you truly have all the self-confidence you can have, and you have pushed Samoa Joe to his boiling point and beyond. So will we finally see Swerve take the keys to his house? Or once again, are we just living in Samoa Joe's continued cemented legacy in this first built dynasty? We'll find out soon enough this Sunday as that concludes our AEW Dynasty preview outtakes for the bigger matches on this card. And this concludes this ridiculously much longer AEW View Impromptu. But the bottom line I will say is this. Always fun, always chaotic, always unscripted, unrestricted, always wild, always passionate. Eric, you're a fucking madman. Sometimes you really make me wonder sometimes about myself. But it's always a pleasure to do this with you, my friends. And I think with that, YouTube and internet, I will leave you for now with another ATW View Impromptu discussion reaching its end. But at bottom line, this is going to be one hell of a weekend with both TNA Rebellion and AEW Dynasty. And I'm all for it, as well as everything else across the three biggest companies in all things wrestling, because that is truly what it's about at the end of the day. As we got so much to look forward to across the damn board, whether you're a fan of TNA, AEW, or even WWE in this new era defined by Paul Triple H Levesque in the names of those two glorious words, professional wrestling. Damn it! Then I don't digress. And I am genuinely looking forward to this upcoming WWE draft. But again, we'll talk more about that afterwards, too. And I'm sure we'll go impromptu again by somebody else's choice. Or hopefully, by the love of God, you all can give me a fucking break. And we'll go impromptu during the week of Double or Nothing in May. But only time the industry and our mentalities will tell soon enough, too. So thank you all for tuning in once more as I am about to leave you all with a fine adieu, as I always do, then, now, and forever, the same way as before. Again, shout out to the entire ATW family. Please stay tuned for Simply Predicting, of course, tonight with me and Tatilla, possibly the Mega JJ Williams for Rebellion. And we'll continue on with Simply Predicting tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday with AEW Dynasty. More in full inside the Renegade's mind. And who knows who else might join us? Nobody, others, who knows? And then, of course, they'll be covered across the weekend here. You'll also see an updated watch-along trailer at Simply Predicting, as I saved that for Jimmy Multiverse Media Centric Productions. So, again, Simply Predicting is not leaving anytime soon, and neither is the ATW View Impromptu. Again, we are ATW. We look at, we talk about, we criticize, we analyze, and we enjoy and engage in all things wrestling. Professional, independent, small, big, localized, live, it doesn't matter. It is an art form that will never leave our eyes. So again, check out the playlist if you want. Follow the entire ATW crew. You'll find the link description down below. That being said, you see the ticker, you know what I'm about. King, any closing remarks regarding anything, all things wrestling, this chat, or anything else in your mind?
I'm gonna say what The Rock said before he went on his before he's going on his Hollywood hiatus. Pro wrestling is cool again.
Simple as that. Ash is going to give it to you, too. Yeah, that's probably as true as well, but I don't follow that idiot, as I don't follow the internet either. But that being said, I do follow one thing, and that is a schedule ahead of work. So I'm going to go to sleep and bid you all now a fine adieu. On behalf of the entire HW crew, we thank you for tuning in, as always, for I am not the leader. I am just a family member, but I am, always will be, a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Only wish to encourage you. There are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. For the love of God, get off your freaking phones and stop looking at Instagram, you weirdos. And again, treasure your families and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that. And respect all individuals in humanity. Even if you don't know them, we have no right to judge. Protect yourselves, define your own mentality. Focus on those around you that support you. Focus on positive things in life. Have a positive outlook on things in and out of wrestling as well. Focus on the bigger things as well. And until next time, make a positive impact in life and have a good night. For we are ATW, and we always will look at and take a shot at all things wrestling too. Have a good night, folks. Golly, Eric, you had to get me triggered. Damn you.
Oh, you knew he would. I mean, come on. This is the agent of chaos in our family talking about.
I know. But one day I wish there was a balance between the yin and the yang in the ATW family. But I guess some things are never meant to be. All right, I'm hitting the damn button. Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.